Hello, everybody. We are back. I will update the guests. So with actual, is there a space in actual Jake?
No, there's not.
Actual Jake
Yep.
and Jaden is worst boy. Whoops, that's not right. And there we are. Woo. Okie dokie. Welcome along, welcome along. Let's dive right in. Time for some Henry V. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is one of my favorites. Oakley dokley. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But, pardon, gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this wooden O the very casques that did affright the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon. Since a crooked figure may attest in little place a million, and let us, ciphers to this great account, on your imaginary forces work. Suppose, within the girdle of this stream, are now confined two mighty monarchies, whose high upreared and abutting fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts, into 1,000 parts divide one man, and make imaginary puissance think when we talk of horses that you see printing their proud hooves either receiving earth. But 'tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings, carry them here and there, jumping o'er times, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass, for the which supply. Admit me, chorus, to this history, who prologue like your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge, our play. And in comes the two bishops of Canterbury and Ely, of who I think most of them are me. Yes, they're both me. My lord, I'll tell you, that self-bill is urged which in the 11th year of the last king's reign was like and had indeed against us passed, but that the scambling and unquiet time did push it out of further question. But how, my lord, shall we resist it now? It must be thought on. If it pass against us, we lose the better half of our possession, for all the temporal lands which men devout by testament have given to the church would they strip from us, being valued thus as much as would maintain to the king's honour full 15 earls and 1,500 knights, 6,200 good esquires, and to relief of lazars and weak age, of indigent faint souls, past corporal toil, 100 almshouses right well supplied, and to the coffers of the king beside, £1,000 by the year. Thus runs the bill. This would drink deep, it would drink the cup and all. But what prevention? The king is full of grace and fair regard, and a true lover of the holy church. The courses of his youth promised it not. The breath no sooner left his father's body, but that his wildness, mortified in him, seemed to die too. Yea, at that very moment, consideration like an angel came, and whipped the fending Adam out of him, leaving his body as a paradise, to envelop and contain celestial spirits. Never was such a sudden scholar made. Never came reformation in a flood with such a heady currents, scouring faults, nor never hydra-headed wilfulness so soon did lose his seat, and all at once as in this king. We are blessed in the change. Hear him but reason in divinity, and all admiring with an inward wish, you would desire the king were made a prelate. Hear him debate of commonwealth affairs, you would say it hath been all in all his study. List his discourse of war, and you shall hear a fearful battle rendered you in music. Turn him to any cause of policy, the Gordian knot of it he will unloose, familiar as his garter, that when he speaks the air a chartered libertine is still, and the mute wonder lurketh in men's ears to steal his sweet and honeyed sentences, so that the art and practic part of life must be the mistress to this theoric, which is a wonder how his grace should glean it. Since his addiction was to courses vain, his companies unlettered, rude, and shallow, his hours filled up with riots, banquets, sports, and never noted in him any study, any retirement, any sequestration from open haunts and popularity. The strawberry grows underneath the nettle, and wholesome berries thrive and ripen best, neighboured by fruit of better quality. And so the prince obscured his contemplation under the veil of wildness, which no doubt grew like the summer grass, fastest by night, unseen, yet crescive in his faculty. It must be so, for miracles are ceased, and therefore we must needs admit the means how things are perfected. But, good my lord, how now for mitigation of this bill urged by the Commons? Doth his Majesty incline to it, or no? He seems indifferent, or rather swaying more upon our part than cherishing the exhibitors against us, for I have made an offer to his Majesty upon our spiritual convocation, that in regard of causes now in hand, which I have opened to his grace at large as touching France, to give a greater sum than ever at one time the clergy yet did to his predecessors part withal. How did this offer seem received, my lord? With the acceptance of his Majesty, save that there was not time enough to hear, as I perceived his grace would fain have done, the severals and unhidden passages of his true titles to some certain dukedoms, and generally the crown and seat of France, derived from Edward, his great-grandfather. What was the impediment that broke this off? The French ambassador upon that instant craved audience, and the hour, I think, is come to give him hearing. Is it 4 o'clock? It is. Then we get in to know his embassy, which I should with a ready guess declare before the Frenchmen speak a word of it. I'll wait upon you, and I long to hear it. Enter King Henry V, Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, Bedford, Clarence, Warwick, Westmoreland, Exeter, and all the lads. All the lads of the court are here. And here we are.
Beautiful crown.
Thank you. It's actually too small, even though I had it custom made for my head for a video, because I guess they didn't... King Henry V wasn't known for his headphones. But anyway. Where is my gracious Lord of Canterbury? I am also Exeter. Not here in presence. Send for him, good uncle. Shall we call in the ambassador, my liege? Not yet, my cousin. We would be resolved before we hear him of some things of weight that task our thoughts concerning us and France. Enter the two bishops from before. God and his angels guard your sacred throne and make you long become it. Sure, we thank you, my learned lord. We pray you to proceed and justly and religiously unfold why the law Salic that they have in France, or should not, bar us in our claim. And God forbid, my dear and faithful lord, that you should fashion, rest, or bow your reading, or nicely charge your understanding soul with opening titles miscreant, whose right suits not in native colours with the truth. For God doth know how many now in health shall drop their blood in approbation of what your reverence shall incite us to. Therefore take heed how you impugn our person, how you awake our sleeping sword of war. We charge you in the name of God, take heed, for never two such kingdoms did contend without much fall of blood, whose guiltless drops are every one a woe, a sore complaint, against him whose wrongs give edge unto the swords that make such waste in brief mortality. Under this conjuration speak, my lord, for we will hear, note, and believe in heart that what you seek is in your conscience washed as pure as sin with baptism. Then hear me, gracious sovereign, and you peers that owe yourselves your lives and liveries to this imperial throne. There is no bar to make against your highness claim to France, but this, which they proclaim from Pharamond, in terram salicam mulieres ne succedant, no woman shall succeed in Salic land. Which Salic land the French unjustly gloss to be the realm of France, and Pharamond the founder of this law and female bar. Yet their own authors faithfully affirm that the land Salic is in Germany, between the floods of Sala and of Elbe, where Charles the Great, having subdued the Saxons, there left behind and settled certain French, who, holding in disdain the German women for some dishonest manners of their life, established then this law, to wit, no female should be inheritrix in Salic land, which Salic, as I said, twixt Elbe and Sala, is at this day in Germany called Meissen. Then doth it well appear the Salic law was not devised for the realm of France, nor did the French possess the Salic land until 421 years after defunction of King Pharamond, idly supposed the founder of this law, who died within the year of our redemption 426, and Charles the Great subdued the Saxons, and did seat the French beyond the river Sala in the year 805. Besides, their writers say, King Pepin, which deposed Childeric, did as heir general, being descended of Blifeld, which was daughter to King Clothair, make claim and title to the crown of France. Hugh Capet also, who usurped the crown of Charles, the Duke of Lorraine, stole heir male of the true line and stock of Charles the Great, to find his title with some shows of truth, though in pure truth it was corrupt and naught, conveyed himself as heir to the Lady Lingar, daughter to Charlemagne, who was the one to Louis the Emperor and Louis the son of Charles the Great. Also King Louis X, who was sole heir to the usurper Capet, could not keep quiet in his conscience, wearing the crown of France till satisfied that fair Queen Isabel, his grandmother, was lineal of the Lady Ermengar, daughter to Charles, the aforesaid Duke of Lorraine, by which marriage the line of Charles the Great was reunited to the crown of France. So that, as clear as is the summer's sun, King Pepin's title and Hugh Capet's claim, King Louis his satisfaction, all appear to hold in right and title of the female. So do the kings of France unto this day. Howbeit they would hold up this Salic law to by your highness claiming female, and rather choose to hide them in a net than amply to embar their crooked titles, usurped from you and your progenitors. May I with right and conscience make this claim. The sin upon my head, dread sovereign, for in the book of Numbers is it writ, when the man dies, let the inheritance descend unto the daughter. Gracious Lord, stand for your own. Unwind your bloody flag. Look back into your mighty ancestors. Go, my dread lord, to your great-grandsire's tomb, from whom you claim, invoke his warlike spirit, and your great uncle's, Edward the Black Prince, who on the French ground played a tragedy, making defeat on the full power of France, whilst his most mighty father on a hill stood smiling to behold his lion's whelp forage in blood of French nobility. O noble English that could entertain with half their forces the full pride of France, and let another half stand laughing by, all out of work and cold for action! Awake, remembrance of these valiant dead, and with your puissant arm renew their feats. You are their heir. You sit upon their throne. The blood and courage that renowned them runs in your veins, and my thrice puissant liege is in the very May-morn of his youth, ripe for exploits and manly enterprises. And then the Duke of Exeter chimes in, who's also me, who says, your brother kings and monarchs of the earth do all expect that you should rouse yourself, as did the former lions of your blood. So does the Duke of Westmoreland, who is also me, who says, they know your grace hath cause and means and might, so hath your highness. Never king of England had nobles richer and more loyal subjects, whose hearts have left their bodies here in England and lie pavilioned in the fields of France. Oh, let their bodies follow, my dear liege, with bloods and sword and fire to win your right. In aid whereof, we of the spirituality, will raise your highness such a mighty sum as never did the clergy at that time bring in to any of your ancestors. We must not only arm to invade the French, but lay down our proportions to defend against the Scot, who will make road upon us with all advantages. They of those marches, gracious sovereign, shall be a wall sufficient to defend our inland from the pilfering borderers. We do not mean the coursing snatchers only, but fear the main intendment of the Scot, who hath been still a giddy neighbour to us. For you shall read that my great-grandfather never went with his forces into France, but that the Scot on his unfurnished kingdom came pouring like a tide into the breach, with ample and prim fullness of his force, galling the gleaned land with hot assays, girding with grievous siege castles and towns, that England, being empty of defence, hath shook and trembled at vil neighbourhood. She hath been then more feared, harmed, my liege, for hear her but exampled by herself, when all her chivalry hath been in France, and she a mourning widow of her nobles, she hath herself not only well defended, but taken and impounded as a stray the King of Scots, whom she did send to France to fill King Edward's fame with prisoner kings, and make their chronicle as rich with praise as is the ooze and bottom of the sea, with sunken wreck and sumless treasuries. But there's a saying, very old and true, if that you will France win, then with Scotland first begin. For once the eagle England being in prey to her unguarded nest, the weasel Scot comes sneaking and so sucks her princely eggs, playing the mouse in absence of the cat, to tame and havoc more than she can meet. It follows then the cat must stay at home, yet that is but a crushed necessity, since we have locks to safeguard necessaries and pretty traps to catch the petty thieves, while that the armed hand doth fight abroad, with advised head defends itself at home. For government, though high and low and put into parts, doth keep in one consent, congreeing in a full and natural close, like music. Therefore doth heaven divide the state of man in diverse functions, setting endeavour in continual motion, to which is fixed as an aim or butt. Obedience for so work the honeybees, creatures that by a rule in nature teach the act of order to a peopled kingdom. They have a king and officers of sorts. where some, like magistrates, correct at home, others, like merchants, venture trade abroad. Others, like soldiers, armoured in their stings, make boot upon the summer velvet's buds, which pillage they with merry march bring home to the tent royal of their emperor, who busied in his majesty surveys the stinging masons building roofs of gold, the civil citizens kneading up the honey, the poor mechanic porters crowding in their heavy burdens gate, the sad-eyed justice with his surly hum, delivering o'er to the executor's pale the lazy, yawning drone. I this infer that many things, having full reference to one consent, may work contrariously. As many arrows, lucid several ways, come to one mark, as many ways meet in one town, as many fresh streams meet in one salt sea, as many lines close in the dial's centre, so may 1,000 actions once afoot end in one purpose, and be all well borne without defeat. Therefore, to France, my liege. Divide your happy England into 4, whereof take you 1/4 into France, and you withal shall make all Gallia shake. If we, with thrice such powers left at home, cannot defend our own doors from the dog, let us be worried, and our nation lose the name of hardiness and policy. Call in the messengers sent from the Dauphin. Now are we well resolved, and by God's help and yours, the noble sinews of our power, France being ours, will bend it to our oar, or break it all to pieces. Or there will sit, ruling in large and ample empery o'er France and all her almost kingly dukedoms, or lay these bones in an unworthy urn, tombless with no remembrance over them. Either our history shall with full mouth speak freely of our acts, or else our grave, like Turkish mute, shall have a tongueless mouth, not worshipped with a waxen epitaph. Enter the ambassadors from France. Now are we well prepared to know the pleasure of our friend? We hear your greeting is from him, not from the king.
It please your majesty to give us leave, freely to render what we have in charge, or shall we sparingly show you far off the Dauphin's meaning and our embassy?
We are no tyrant, but a Christian king, unto whose grace our passion is as subject as our wretches fettered in our prisons. Therefore, with frank and with uncurbed plainness, tell us the Dauphin's mind.
Us then in few. Your Highness, lately sending into France, did claim some certain dukedoms, in the right of your great predecessor, King Edward III. Claim the prince, our master, says that you savor too much of your youth, and bids you be advised there's naught in France that can be with a nimble gallant one. You cannot revel into dukedom there. You meter for your spirit this ton of treasure, and in lieu of this desires you let the dukedoms that you claim hear no more of you. This the Dauphin speaks.
What treasure, uncle? So they've given him a box, and Exeter reaches in and opens the box and finds the treasure. Tennis balls, my liege. We are glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His present and your pains we thank you for. When we have matched our rackets to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set that shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Tell him he hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts of France will be disturbed with chases. And we understand him well, how he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them. We never valued this poor seat of England, and therefore living hence did give ourselves to barbarous license, as 'tis ever common that men are merriest when they are from home. But tell the Dauphin, I will keep my state, be like a king, and show my sail of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. For that I have laid by my majesty and plodded like a man for working days, but I will rise there with so full a glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France, yea, strike the Dauphin blind to look on her. And tell the pleasant prince this mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones, and his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For many 1,000 widows shall this his mock out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down, and some are yet ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. But all this lies all within the will of God, to whom I do appeal, and in whose name tell you the Dauphin, I am coming on, to venge me as I may, and to put forth my rightful hand in a well-hallowed cause. So get you hence in peace, and tell the Dauphin, his jest will savour but of shallow wit, when thousands weep more than did laugh at it. Convey them with safe conduct. Fare you well. This was a merry message. We hope to make our sender blush at it. Therefore, my lords, omit no happy hour that may give to our expedition, for we have now no thought in us but France, save those to God that run before our business. Therefore let our proportions for these wars be soon collected, and all things thought on that may with reasonable swiftness add more feathers to our wings. For God before will chide this Dauphin at his father's door. Therefore let every man now task his thought, that this fair action may on foot be brought. They're getting ready to go to war for France. Here we fucking go. Right, in comes the chorus. Now all the youth of England are on fire, and silken dalliance in the wardrobe lies. Now thrive the armourer. Thought reigns solely in the breast of every man. They sell the pasture now to buy the horse, following the mirror of all Christian kings with winged heels, as English Mercuries, for now sits expectation in the air, and hides a sword from hilts unto the point, with crowns imperial, crowns and coronets, promised to Harry and his followers. The French, advised by good intelligence of this most dreadful preparation, shake in their fear, and with pale policy seek to divert the English purpose. O England, model to thy inward greatness, like a little body with a mighty heart, what mightst thou do? That honour would thee do, or all thy children kind and natural. But see, thy fault France hath in thee found out, a nest of hollow bosoms which he fills with treacherous crowns. 3 corrupted men, one Richard Earl of Cambridge, and the second Henry Lord Scroop of Masham, and the third Sir Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland, have for the guilt to France, oh guilt indeed, confirmed conspiracy with fearful France, and by their hands this grace of kings must die, if hell and treason hold their promises, ere he take ship for France, and in Southampton. Linger your patience on, and we'll digest the abuse of distance, force a play. The sum is paid, the traitors are agreed, the king is set from London, and the scene is now gentles to Southampton. There is a playhouse now, there you must sit, and thence to France shall we convey you safe and bring you back, charming the narrow seas to give you gentle pass. For if we may, we'll not offend one stomach with our play. But till the king come forth, and not till then, and to Southampton do we shift our scene. And enter Corporal Nym and Lieutenant Bardolph. I am definitely Bardolph, but I'm not Nym.
I am Nym.
Brilliant. Well met, Corporal Nym.
Tomorrow, Lieutenant Bardolph.
What, our ancient pistol and you friends yet?
For my part, I care not. I say little, but when time shall serve, there shall be smiles. But that shall be as it may. I dare not fight, but I will wink and hold out mine iron. It is a simple one. But what, though? It will toast cheese, and it will endure cold, as another man's sword will. And there's an end.
I will bestow a breakfast to make you friends, and when all 3... Let it be so, good Corporal Nym.
Faith, I will live so long as I may, that's the certain of it. And when I cannot live any longer, I will do as I may. That is my rest. That is the rendezvous of it.
It is certain, Corporal, that he is married to Nell Quickly, and certainly she did you wrong, for you were troth plight to her.
I cannot tell. Things must be as they may. Men may sleep, and they may have their throats about them at that time. And some say knives have edges. It must be as it may. Though patience be a tired mare, yet she will plod. There must be conclusions. Well, I cannot tell.
In comes Pistol and Hostess Quickly.
I'm apparently both of these, and I'm married to myself.
Nice.
Okay.
Here comes Ancient Pistol and his wife. Good Corporal, be patient here. How now, mine host Pistol?
Base tyke, callest thou me host? Now by this hand I swear I scorn the term, nor shall my Nell keep lodgers. No, but my troth, not long, for we cannot lodge and board 12 or 14 gentlewomen that live honestly by the prick of their needles, but it will be thought we keep a bawdy house straight. Draw. Okay. Oh, well a day, lady, if he be not drawn now, we shall wilful adultery and murder committed.
Well, we're very honoured to have Master Roshi be playing Hostess Quickly. Good Lieutenant, good Corporal, offer nothing here.
Pish!
Pish for thee, Iceland dog, thou prick-eared cur of Iceland. Good Corporal Nym, show thy valour and put up your sword.
Oh, you Shoggoth, I would have you solace.
Soulless, egregious dog, O viper vile, the soulless in thy most marvellous face, the soulless in my teeth and in my throat and in thy hateful lungs, yeah, in thy maw purty, and which is worse, within the nasty mouth. I do retort the soulless in thy bowels, for I can take and pistols cock is up, and flashing fire will follow.
I am not Barbison. You cannot conjure me. I have an humor to knock you indifferently well, if you grow foul with me, pistol. I will scour you with my rapier, as I may in fair terms. I would prick your guts as a little, if I may, and that's the humor of it.
Oh, braggart vile and damn furious wight, the grave doth gape and doting death is near, therefore exhale.
Hear me. Say he that strikes the first stroke, I'll run him up to the hilts.
An oath of mickle might and fury shall abate. Give me thy fist, thy 4 foot to me give. Thy spirits are most tall.
I will cut thy throat one time or other, in fair terms. That is the humor of it.
Couple of gorge, that is the word. I thee defy again, O hound of Crete. Thinkest thou my spouse to get? No, to the spittle I go, and from the powdering tub of infamy fetch forth the lazar kite of Cressid's kind. Doll tear sheet, she by name, and her spouse I have, and I will hold the quondam quickly for the only she. And Pauca, there's enough. Go to.
Enter a boy.
Mine host Pistol, you must come to my master, and you, hostess, he is very sick, and would to bed. Good Bardolph, put thy face between his sheets, and do the office of a warming pan. Faith, he's very ill.
Away, you rogue.
By my troth, he'll yield the crow a pudding one of these days. The king has killed his heart. Good husband, come home presently.
They leave. Hostess and the boy. Come, shall I make you two friends? We must have France together. Why the devil should we keep knives to cut one another's throats?
Let floods o'erswell and fiends for food howl on.
Pay me the 8 shillings I won of you at betting.
Base is the slave that pays.
That now I will have.
As manhood shall compound, push home.
By this sword, he that makes the first thrust, I'll kill him. By this sword I will.
Sword's an oath, and oaths must have their course.
Corporal Nym, and thou wilt be friends, and thou wilt not, why then be enemies with me too. Prithee put up.
I shall have my 8 shillings I won of you at betting.
A noble shalt thou have, and present pay. And liquor likewise will I give to thee, and friendship shall combine, and brotherhood. I'll live by Nym, and Nym shall live by me. Is not this just? For I shall sutler be unto the camp, and profits will accrue. Give me thy hand.
I shall have my noble.
In cash, most justly paid.
Well, then, that's the humor of it.
As ever you came of women, come in quickly to Sir John. Poor heart, he is so shaked of a burning quotidian tertian, that is almost lamentable to behold. Sweet men, come to him.
King hath run bad humors on the night. That's the even of it.
Nym, thou hast spoke the right. His heart is fracted and corroborate.
King is a good king, but it must be as it may. He passes some humors and careers.
Let us condole the night, for lambkins we will live.
And so they go. Enter Exeter, Bedford, and Westmoreland. They're the good lads. All of them are me. For God, his grace is bold to trust these traitors. They shall be apprehended by and by. How smooth and even they do bear themselves, as if allegiance in their bosoms sat, crowned with faith and constant loyalty. The king hath note of all that they intend, by interception which they dream not of. Nay, but the man that was his bedfellow, whom he hath dulled and cloyed with gracious favours, that he should for a foreign purse so sell his sovereign's life to death and treachery. Enter the king, Scroop, Cambridge, and Grey, who are the traitors. Two of which are also me. I'm Scroop and Cambridge. Somebody else is Grey, I think.
Yes.
If Grey even has any lines.
I am Grey.
Cool. Here comes the king. Now sits the wind fair, and we will aboard. My lord of Cambridge, and my kind lord of Masham, and you, my gentle knight, give me your thoughts. Think you not that the powers we bear with us will cut their passage through the force of France, doing the execution and the act for which we have in head assembled them? No doubt, my liege, if each man do his best. I doubt not that, since we are well persuaded we carry not a heart with us from hence that grows not in a fair consent with ours, nor leave not one behind that doth not wish success and conquest to attend on us. And never was monarch better feared and loved as your majesty. There's not, I think, a subject that sits in hard grief and uneasiness under the sweet shade of your government.
True, those that were your father's enemies have steeped their galls in honey and do serve you, with hearts create of duty and of zeal.
We therefore have great cause of thankfulness, and shall forget the office of our hand sooner than quittance of desert and merit according to the weight of worthiness. So service shall, with steel and sinews, toil, and labour shall refresh itself with hope, to do your grace incessant services. We judge no less. Uncle of Exeter, enlarge the man committed yesterday, railed against the person. We consider it was excess of wine that set him on, and on his more advice we pardon him. There's mercy, but too much security. Let him be punished, sovereign, lest example breed by his sufferance more of such kind. Oh, let us yet be merciful. So may your highness and yet punish too.
Sir, you show great mercy, if you give him life after the taste of much correction.
Alas, your too much love and care of me are heavy orisons, wretch. If little faults proceeding on distemper shall not be winked at, how shall we stretch our eye when capital crimes, chewed, swallowed, and digested, appear before us? We'll yet enlarge that man, though Cambridge, Scroop, and Grey, in their dear care and tender preservation of our person, would have him punished. And now to our French causes. Who are the late commissioners? I won, my lord. Your highness bade me ask for it today. So did you me, my liege.
And I, my royal sovereign.
Then, Richard Earl of Cambridge, there is yours, and yours, Lord Scroop of Masham, and Sir Knight Grey of Northumberland. This same is yours. Read them, and know I know your worthiness. My lord of Westmoreland and Uncle Exeter, we will aboard tonight. Why, how now, gentlemen? What see you in those papers that you lose so much complexion? But look ye, how they change. Their cheeks are paper. Why, what read you there that hath so cowarded and chased your blood out of appearances? I do confess my fault, and I submit me to your highness's mercy.
Which we all appeal.
The mercy that was quickened us but late by your uncountable pressed and killed. You must not dare, for shame, to talk of mercy, for your unreasons turn into your bosoms as dogs upon their masters, worrying you. See you, my princes, and my noble peers, these English monsters. My lord of Cambridge here. You know how apt our love was to accord to furnish him with all appurtenance belonging to his honour. And this man hath, for a few light crowns, lightly conspired and sworn unto the practices of France to kill us here in Hampton. To the which this knight, no less for bounty bound to us than Cambridge is, hath likewise sworn. But oh, what shall I say to thee, Lord Scroop? Thou cruel, ingrateful, savage, and inhuman creature, thou that didst bear the key of all my counsels, that knewst at the very bottom of my soul, that almost mightst have coined me into gold, wouldst thou have practised on me for thy use? May it be possible that foreign hire could out of thee extract one spark of evil that might annoy my finger. 'Tis so strange, that though the truth of it stands off as gross as black and white, my eye will scarcely see it. Treason and murder ever kept together, as two yoked devils sworn to either purpose, working so grossly in a natural cause, that admiration did not whoop at them, but though gainst all proportion didst bring in wonder to wait on treason and on murder. And whatsoever cunning fiend it was upon thee so preposterously, hath got the voice in hell for excellence. All other devils that suggest by treasons do botch and bungle up damnation, with patches, colours, and with forms being fetched from glistering symbols of piety. But he that tempted thee, bade thee stand up, gave thee no instance why thou shouldst do treason, unless to dub thee with the name of traitor. If that same demon that hath gulled thee thus should with his lion gait walk the whole world, he might return to vasty Tartar back and tell the legions, I can never win a soul so easy as that Englishman. Oh, how hast thou with jealousy infected the sweetness of affiance? Show men dutiful? Why, so didst thou. Seem they grave and learned? Why, so didst thou. Come they of noble family? Why, so didst thou. Seem they religious? Why, so didst thou. Or are they spare in diet, free from gross passion or of mirth or anger, constant in spirit, not swerving with the blood, garnished and decked in modest compliment, not working with the eye without the ear, but in purged judgment trusting neither? Such and so finely bolted didst thou seem. And thus thy fall hath left a kind of blot, to mark the full-fraught man and best induced with some suspicion. I will weep for thee. For this revolt of thine, methinks, is like another man. Their faults are open. Arrest them to the answer of the law, and God acquit them. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Richard Earl of Cambridge. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Henry of Masham. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Thomas Gride, Knight of North. Our purposes God justly hath discovered, and I repent my fault more than my death, which I beseech your highness to forgive, although my body pay the price of it. For me, the gold of France did not seduce, although I admit it as a motive, the sooner to effect what I intended, but God be thanked for prevention, which I in sufferance heartily will rejoice, beseeching God and you to pardon me.
Never did faithful subject more rejoice at the discovery of most dangerous treason than I do at this hour joy o'er myself, prevented from a damned enterprise. My fault, but not my body.
God quit you in his mercy. Hear your sentence. You have conspired against our royal person, joined with an enemy proclaimed, and from his coffers received gold and earnest of death, sold your king to slaughter, his princes and his peers to servitude, his subjects to oppression and contempt, and his whole kingdom into desolation. Touching our person, seek we no revenge, but we our kingdom's safety must so tender, whose ruin you have sought, that to her laws we do deliver you. Get you therefore hence, poor miserable wretches, to your death. Taste whereof God of his mercy give you patience to endure, and true repentance of all your dear offences. Bear them hence. They get dragged away. Now, lords, for France, the enterprise whereof shall be to you as us like glorious. We doubt not of a fair and lucky war, since God so graciously hath brought to light this dangerous treason lurking in our way to hinder our beginnings. We doubt not now, but every rub is. Then forth, dear countrymen, let us deliver our puissance into the hand of God, putting it straight into expedition. Cheerly to see the signs of war advance. No king of England, if not king of France. Da-da-da-da, and off the lads go. Here comes Pistol, Nym, Bardolph, Boy, and the hostess quickly.
Prithee, honey, sweet husband, let me bring thee to Staines. No, for my manly heart doth yearn. Bardolph, be blithe. Nym, rouse thy vaunting veins. Boy, bristle thy courage up, for Falstaff, he is dead, and we must yearn therefore.
Were I would with him wear Sumeri, either in heaven or in hell.
Nay, sure, he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom, if ever man went to Arthur's bosom. A maid finer and went away, and it had been any Christum child. Parted even just between 12 and 1, even at the turning of the tide. For after I saw him fumble with the sheets and play with flowers and smile upon his fingers' ends, I knew there was but one way. For his nose was as sharp as a pen, and a babbled of green fields. How now, Sir John? Quoth I, what man? Be o' good cheer. So I cried out, God, 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 3 or 4 times. Now, I to comfort him, bid him should not think of God. I hope there was no need to trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. So I bade me lay more clothes at his feet. I put my hand into the bed and felt them, and they were as cold as any stone. Then I felt his knees, and they were as cold as any stone. So upward, and all that was cold as any stone.
Say he cried out of sack.
Aye, that it did.
And of women.
Nay, that I did not.
Yes, that I did, and said they were devils incarnate.
I could never abide carnation. 'Twas a color he never liked.
I said once the devil would have him about women.
I did in some sort indeed handle women, but then he was a rheumatic and talked of the whore of Babylon.
You not remember I saw a flea stick upon Bardolph's nose, and I said it was a black soul burning in hellfire.
Well, the fuel is gone that maintained that fire. That's all the riches I got in his service.
Awishog, the king will be gone from Southampton.
Come, let's away. My love, give me thy lips. Look to my chattels and my movables. Let senses rule. The word is pitch and pray. Trust none. For oaths are straws, men's faiths are wafer cakes, and holdfast is the only dog, my duck. Therefore, cave to be thy counselor. Go, clear the crystals. Yoke fellow in arms, let us to France. Like horse leeches, my boys, to suck, the very blood to suck.
And that's but unwholesome food, they say.
Touch your soft mouth and much.
Farewell, hostess.
Cannot kiss. That is the humor of it, but adieu.
Let housewifery appear. Keep close eye the command. Farewell, adieu.
They leave separately to go to war, and Falstaff's dead. Falstaff, King Henry's old friend, a symbol of partying and good times, is passed away.
Big rip.
Rip. F's in the chat for Falstaff, who I was for 2 plays. And oh wait, no. I guess Merry Wives of Windsor is he's in that. I guess that occurs chronologically for this. So Falstaff may yet reappear in a prequel, or I guess like a side quel. Anyway, here comes the French king. So I guess it's the Dauphin, the Dukes of Berry and Brittany, the Constable and others. I am the King of France, so I say, this comes the English will full power upon us, and more than carefully it is us concerns. This will take me a while to get into. Therefore, the Dukes of Berry and of Brittany, of Brabant and of Orleans shall make force, and you, Prince Dauphin, with all swift dispatch to line and new repair our towns of war, with men of courage and with means defendant. For England and his approaches make as fierce as waters to the suckling of a gulf. It fits us then to be as provident as fear may teach us out of late examples, left by the fatal and neglected English upon our fields. Who is Dauphin? Thank God it's not me.
Most redoubted father, it is most meet we arm us against a foe. For peace itself should not so dull a kingdom, the war nor known. Quarrel were in question, but that defenses, musters, preparations should be maintained, assembled and collected, as were a war in expectation. Therefore I say, 'tis meet we all go forth to view the sick and feeble parts of France. And let us do it with no show of fear.
That's so great.
No, with no more than if we heard that England were busied with the wits and morris dance. For my Gulire, she is so idly kinged, her scepter so fantastically borne by a vain, giddy, shallow, humorous youth, that fear attends her now.
I love it. It's so good.
Who's the constable?
Not me.
I'm not.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, peace, Prince Dauphin. You are too much mistaken in this king. Question your grace, the late ambassadors. With that great state, he heard their embassy. How well supplied with noble counselors. How modest in exception, and withal, how terrible in constant resolution. And you shall find his vanities forspent. Were but the outside of the Roman Brutus, covering discretion with a coat of folly, as gardeners do with ordure hide those roots that shall first spring and be most delicate. So, my lord high constable, but though we think it so, it is no matter. In case of defense, 'tis best to weigh the enemy more mighty than he seems. So the proportions of defense are filled.
Or, projection.
doth like a miser spoil his coat with scanting a little cloth.
That doesn't. That's just a. It just sounds
Yeah,
similar.
I just got
it's-
scared when I
it's-
saw it.
I get it.
So I skipped it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sink we King Ariston, and princes, look you strongly armed to meet him. The kindred of him has been fleshed upon. Years bred out of that bloody strains that haunted us in our familiar past. Witness our too much memorable shame when crashy battle fatally was struck, and all our princes captive by the hand of that black name, Edward, Black Prince of Wales. Whilst at his mountain sire on mountain standing up in the air, crowned with the golden sun, saw his heroical seed and smiled to see him Mongols, the work of nature, and deface the patterns that by God and by French fathers has 20 years been made. This is a stem of that victorious stalk, and let us fear the native mightiness and fat of him. In comes a messenger.
Ambassadors from Harry, King of England, do crave admittance to your majesty.
We'll give them present audience. Go and bring. You see this chase is hotly followed, France.
Turn head and stop pursuit. For coward dogs, most spend their mouths when what they seem to threaten runs far before them. Take up the English short and let them know of what a monarchy you are the head. Self-love, melee, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting.
I just want to say that on my part, this is out of ineptitude rather than malice. So my apologies to the entire nation of France. I'll tell a joke. About the English. I once knew somebody who lived in France, and she was moving to England, and she got in a taxi to the airport, and the taxi driver said, "Where are you going?" She said, "I'm going to live in England." And the taxi driver said, "Why would you want to live with them? They are all pink like shrooms." Which is a fair point. Anyway, in comes Exeter and all the others. From our brother of England, from him, and thus he greets your majesty. He wills you, in the name of God Almighty, that you divest yourself and lay apart the borrowed glories that by gift of heaven, by law of nature and of nations, longs to him, to his heirs, namely, the crown, by all wide stretched honours that pertain by custom and the ordinance of times, and to the crown of France. That you may know 'tis no sinister nor no awkward claim, picked from the wormholes of long vanished days, nor from the dust of old oblivion ranked most memorable line. In every branch, truly demonstrative, willing you overlook this pedigree. And when you find him evenly derived from his most famed of famous ancestors, Edward III, he bids you then resign your crown and kingdom indirectly held from him, the native and true challenger. Or what else follows? Bloody constraint. For if you hide the crown even in your hearts, there will he rake for it. Therefore in fierce tempest is he coming, in thunder and in earthquake, like a Jove, that if requiring fail, he will compel, and bids you in the bowels of the Lord deliver up the crown, and to take mercy on the poor souls for whom this hungry war opens his vasty jaws, and on your head turning the widow's tears, the orphan's cries, the dead man's blood, the pining maiden's groans for husbands, fathers, and betrothed lovers that shall be swallowed in this controversy. This is his claim, his threatening, and my message. Unless the Dauphin be in presence here, to whom expressly I bring greeting too. For us, we will consider on this further. Tomorrow shall you bear out our full intent back to our brother of England.
Le Dauphin, I stand here for him. From England.
Scorn and defiance, slight regard, contempt, and anything that may not prize you at. Thus says my king, and if your father's highness do not, in grant of all demands at large, sweeten the bitter mock you send his majesty, he'll call you to so hot an answer of it that caves and woomy voltages of France shall chide your trespass and return your mock in second accent of his ordinance.
Say, if my father rend or fair return, it is against my will, for I desire nothing but odds with England to that end. As matching to his youth and vanity, I did present him with the Paris balls.
He'll make your Paris Louvre shake for it. We're at the mistress court of mighty Europe, and be assured you'll find a difference as we his subjects have in wonder found between the promise of his greener days and these he masters now. Now he weighs time, even to the utmost grain that you shall read in your own losses, if you stay in France. Tomorrow shall you know our man that fool. Dispatch us with all speed, lest that our king come here. for he is footed in these lands already. You shall be soon dispatched with fair conditions. A knight is but small breast and little paws to answer matters of these consequences. And so they leave. So we're going to take a little 5-minute break, I think, because Crystal's going to come in and read Catherine. So we'll just beam her in and do a quick tech stuff. I'll boil the kettle. It's not the full interval. We'll take 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll be back very, very shortly. All right, I'm just going to make a cup of tea and have a wee, and then we'll be back. 2 minutes.
Cool.
Sounds good.
I'm here.
Cool. I'll just pee.
Yeah, I thought maybe you would want someone else to read French.
Oh yeah, is it actually written in French?
All of her lines are in French.
Oh, brilliant, fantastic.
And then there's a scene with you later at the very end, and you're already reading against yourself a bunch. So
brilliant. What do you want to be credited as, Crystal?
Crystal Donovan, Donovan.
Donovan. Back in 2 minutes. Just boil the kettle.
Sounds good.
Rootin', tootin', toilin', shootin', fire burnin', cowboy.
Oh, hi.
Eye of Newton, spicy beans. Toe of frog and denim jeans. Whiskey grits and demon spittle. Tossed into my iron griddle. With the tannin of our hides. Something wicked this way rides. Are you going to have to do a fan request real quick? In my pistol voice.
Are we still hot?
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
waiting to hear. I think Ellie muted us finally.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good.
Oh gosh.
Yes, this is intermission for just a second, chat.
This is definitely the goofiest.
I am so terrible at French.
Goofiest reading.
I am going to be banned. I'm going to be banned.
Everyone's gonna cancel you for reading that. Honestly, it's been a while since I've read French also, so it's gonna be better than someone who doesn't know any French, but it's not gonna be like someone who's fluent.
I'm never going to be allowed to buy fromage again.
Oh no. Yeah. I'm with the messenger, and I wasn't sure how far we were going for it, so I was just trying to make it as subtle as possible. And
It was
just
so
sounded bad.
good. It was so good.
But I heard Ollie doing okay, I'll one up you, Ollie. I'll go in on this thing.
Act 3, Scene 2. I think I'm only in 2. Yeah. I get to be Pistol again. So glad you gave me Pistol.
Right on.
As soon as I saw his picture, this specific act that's on my stream, you can't see it, but
so
with the mustache, I was like,
Sorry, I have someone who might be able to. Here, I'm going to move her into the green room. I have someone who might be able to take over a few roles. I'm just going to ask Ollie when he gets back with his kettle, his teacup. If so, I'll repaste for you whoever. Hopefully I'll be able to just steal stuff from Ollie, so I don't have to screw with you guys in your flow.
Well, I mean, also I have a list here that I've written down. I can just cross whatever out. It's no big deal.
Okay, sure. Was that was Jake talking or Jaden?
no,
Sorry.
that was not me. No.
Oh, it's Jaden.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
Ooh, should I do a Midwestern accent?
Don't think you're off the hook though, Jaden, because you still have to be the other French person. Nella has preemptively said not if it's the other French one. So you're
I'm
committed.
having a lot of fun with.
Ooh. I think Gower.
To be honest.
I think Gower is gonna have a thick Midwest accent. That's what I think.
I'm from the Midwest. What's my accent like?
No, I'm from the Midwest too. I'm from Michigan, but it's
right
you know how some people.
Okie
Oh,
dokie.
Hey, Ollie. So
Hey.
Nella's here. Do you want me to give her some of your roles? I can
Yeah,
repaste you what you're going to keep and give her what I'm going to give her.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Thank you.
Cool. Let me pull her up here. And actually, I don't show up as Catherine for a bit, so I'm going to go down there and prep her. You can keep going.
Okay, cool.
And I'll be back.
Fantastic. Hello, we are back again with Henry V. I need to update who we got for reading. So we've got a few more people who are going to join us.
Monsieur Gang, rise up. Yep.
Monsieur Gang, right.
That's good.
It's a mood.
Oops. There it is. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, it was the chorus. So, Act 3. Here we go. Thus with imagined wing our swift scene flies in motion celerity than that of thought. Suppose that you have seen the well-appointed king at Dover Pier embark his royalty, and his brave fleet with silken streamers, the young Phoebus fanning, play with your fancies. And in them behold upon the hempen tackle shipboys climbing. Hear the shrill whistle which doth order give to sounds confused. Behold the threatened sails, borne with invisible and creeping wind, draw thee huge bottoms through the furrowed sea, breasting the lofty surge. Oh, do but think you stand upon the rivage and behold a city on the constant bellows dancing. For so appears this fleet majestical, holding due course to Harfleur. Follow, follow. Grapple your minds to cernage of this navy, and leave your England as dead midnight still, guarded with grandsires, babies, and old women, either past or not arrived to pith and puissance. For who is he whose chin is but enriched with one appearing hair that will not follow these culled and choice-drawn cavaliers to France? Work your thoughts, and therein see a siege. Behold the ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaping on girded Harfleur. Suppose the ambassador from the French comes back, tells Harry that the king doth offer him Catherine his daughter, and with her to dowry some petty and unprofitable dukedoms. The offer likes not, and the nimble gunner with linstock now the devilish cannon touches, and down goes all before them. Still be kind, and eke out our performance with your mind. Dun 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 dun! Big battle scene. There's like sieges and all sorts, and then like boom, all sorts of stuff.
Wilhelm scream.
It's the Battle of Helm's Deep. Here come all lads. Say, once more into the breach, dear friend. In peace there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, conjure up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favoured rage, then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let it pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth a galled rock o'erhang and jutty his confounded base, soiled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth, and stretch the nostril wide. Hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you know, whose blood is fed from fathers of war-proof. Fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonour not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your posture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George! They all charge off. Boom. Act 3. Enter Nym, Bardolph, Pistol, and Boy. On! To the breach! To the breach!
Pray thee, Corporal, stay. The knocks are too hot. I can't undo it now. And for mine own part, I have not a case of lives. The humor of it is too hot. That is the very plain song of it.
The plain song is most just, for humors do abound. Knocks go and come, God's vassals drop and die, and sword and shield in bloody field doth win immortal fame.
Would I were an alehouse in London, I would give all my fame for a pot of ale and safety.
And I, if wishes would prevail with me, my purpose should not fail with me, but thither would I hie.
As duly, but not as truly, as bird doth sing on bow.
Enter Flulen.
Got it. To the breach, you dogs!
Avaunt, you cullions! Sorry.
It's all right. There's so many parts.
Be merciful, great Duke, to men of mold. Abate thy rage, abate thy manly rage. Abate thy rage, great Duke. Good ball cock, bait thy rage. Use lenity, sweet Chuck.
Peace be good humors. Your honor wins bad humors. As young as I am, I have observed these 3 swashers. I am boy to them all 3, but all they 3, though they would serve me, could not be man to me. For indeed 3 such antiques do not amount to a man. For Bardolph, he is white-livered and red-faced, by the means whereof a face is it out, but fights not. For Pistol, he hath a killing tongue and a quiet sword, but the means whereof a breaks words, and keeps whole weapons. For Nim, he hath heard that men of few words are the best men, and therefore he scorns to say his prayers, lest should be thought a coward. But his few bad words are matched with as few good deeds, for never broke any man's head but his own, and that was against a post when he was drunk. They will steal anything and call it purchase. Bardolph stole a loot case, bore it 12 leagues, and sold it for 3 halfpence. Nim and Bardolph are sworn brothers in Filchin, and in Calais they stole a fire shovel. I knew by that piece of service the men would carry coals. They would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves or their handkerchers. Much against my manhood. If I should take from another pocket to put into mine, for it is plain pocket enough of wrongs, I must leave them and seek some better service. Their villainy goes against my weak stomach, and therefore I must cast it up.
Enter Gower and Flellan.
Captain Fluellen, you must come presently to the mines. The Duke of Gloucester would speak with you. I don't know who Fluellen is.
Who's
Fluellen?
I'm not Fluellen.
Not me.
I don't have it either.
It's supposed to be Nella. I think her Discord crashed.
Oh, no worries. I'll be Fluellen until Fluellen's voice.
Great. She's coming back.
Sorry, would you give me the line again so I can pick a silly character?
To the mines.
To the mines! Tell you the Duke it is not so good to come to the mines. According to the disciplines of the war, the concavities of it is not sufficient. For look you, the adversary you may discuss unto the Duke. Look you, he is digit himself 4 yard under the countermines. By chase you, I think it will plow up at all, if there is not better directions.
The Duke of Gloucester, to whom the order of the siege is given, is altogether directed by an Irishman, a very valiant gentleman, I faith.
Is it Captain McMorris, is it not?
I think it be.
Oh, by chase you, he is an ass, as in the world. I will verify as much beard. He hath no more directions in the true disciplines of the wars, look you, with a Roman puppy dog. Here comes McMorris and Captain Jenny. Oh God, please tell me someone doesn't have to do an Irish accent.
No. Here it comes, and the Scots captain, Captain Jamie, with them.
Captain Jamie is a marvellous valorous gentleman, that is certain, and of great expedition and knowledge in the ancient. Upon my particular knowledge of his discretions, by Chasu he will maintain an argument as well as any military world in the disciplines of the pristine wars of the Romans. I am Jamie. I say good day, Captain Fluellen. God damn your worship, good Captain James.
How now, Captain McMorris? Have you quit the mines? Have the pioneers given over?
Oh God, I'm down as McMorris.
Oh shit.
This might take a little while to get into. My apologies. Nation of mine. By Christ, lad, till it's done, the work is give over. The trumpets sound the retreat. By my hand I swear, and my father's soul, the work is all done. It is give over. I would have blowed up the town, so Christ save me, lie in an hour. Oh, 'tis ill done. 'Tis ill done. By my hand, 'tis ill done.
Captain McMorris, I beseech you now, will you vouchsafe me, look you, a few disputations with you, as partly touching or concerning the disciplines of the war, the Roman war, in the way of argument. Look you, in friendly communication, partly to satisfy my opinion, and partly for the satisfaction, look you, of my mind, as touching the direction of the military discipline. That is the point.
It shall be very good. Good faith, good captain's bath, and I shall quit you with good leave as I may pick occasion. That shall I, marry. It is no time to discourse, so Christ shave me. The day is hot, and the weather and the wars, and the king and the town is besieged, and the trumpet call us to the breach, and we talk, and by Christ do nothing. 'Tis shame for us all, so God save me. 'Tis shame to stand still, 'tis shame by my hand, and there is just throats to be cut and works to be done, and there is nothing done, so Christ shame me, la. By the mess, ere these eyes of mine take themselves to slumber, I'll do good service. I'll lick the ground for it, or go to death, and I'll pay as valorously as I may. That shall surely do. 'Tis the prayer from the long. Marry, I would full fain have some question between you two.
Captain McMorris, I think, look you, under your correction, there is not many of your nation.
Of my nation? That's the wrong nation. Sorry, wrong one. Oh, of my nation. What is my nation? I've no idea. It's a villain and a bad. My nation talks of my nation.
Look you, if you take the matter otherwise than is meant, Captain McMorris, peradventure, I think you do not use me with that affability as indiscretion you ought to use me. Look you, being a good man as yourself, both in the disciplines of war and in the duration of my birth and in other particularities.
I know not you're so good a man as myself, so Christ save me, I'll cut off your head.
Gentlemen, both, you will mistake each other.
Ah, that's a foul. Ah, now it's stuck as Irish. That's a foul fault.
Hey, the town starts a parley.
Thank God.
Captain McMorris, when there is a better opportunity to be required, look you, I will be so bold as to tell you I know the disciplines of war, and there is an end.
And so leaves the 57 stereotype regiment.
It's not gonna get worse. I have Montjoy soon.
Oh God, who wrote this? Anyway, finally here comes a sensible character. Henry comes in. How yet resolves the governor of the town? This is the latest parley we will admit. Therefore, to our best mercy give yourselves, or like to men proud of destruction, defy us to our worst. For as I am a soldier, a name that in my thoughts becomes me best. If I begin the battery once again, I will not leave the half-achieved Harfleur till in her ashes she lie buried. The gates of mercy shall be all shut up, and the fleshed soldier, rough and hard of heart, in liberty a bloody hand shall range with conscience wide as hell, mowing like grass your fresh fair virgins and your flowering infants. What is it then to me if impious war arrayed in flames like to the prince of fiends do with his smirched complexion all fell feats enlinked to waste and desolation? What is to me when you yourselves are cause if your pure maidens fall into the hand of hot and forcing violation? What reign can hold licentious wickedness when down the hill he holds his fierce career? We may as bootless spend our vain command upon then raged soldiers in their spoil as send precepts to the Leviathan to come ashore. Therefore, you men of Harfleur, take pity of your town and of your people, whiles yet my soldiers are in my command, whiles yet the cool and temperate wind of grace o'erblows the filthy and contagious clouds of heady murder, spoil, and villainy. If not, why, in a moment look to see the blind and bloody soldier with foul hand defile the locks of your shrill, shrieking daughters, your fathers taken by the silver beards and their most reverent heads dashed to the walls, your naked infants spitted upon pikes, whilst the mad mothers with their hands fused do break the clouds as did the wives of Jewry at Herod, bloody hunting slaughtermen. What say you? Will you yield, and this avoid? Or guilty in defence be thus destroyed? Who's the governor?
I could be the governor. Our expectation hath this day an end. Our successor being treated returns us to his powers are yet not ready to raise so great as he. Therefore, great king, we yield our town and lives to thy soft mercy. Enter our gates, dispose of us and ours, for we are no longer dispensable. Oh God, it's French accent at 5:40 in the morning. Great guys.
Open your gates. Come, Uncle Exeter. Go you and enter Harfleur. There remain and fortify it strongly against the French. Use mercy to them all. For us, dear uncle, the winter coming on and sickness growing upon our soldiers, we will retire to Calais. Tonight in Harfleur, we will be your guests. Tomorrow for the march, we are addressed. King rides in. Meanwhile, here comes Catherine, Princess of France, and Alice, an old gentlewoman.
Are you ready, Jaden?
Oh, I know I'm ready. Are you ready?
I will try it. Alice, tu es à ton Angleterre et tu parles bien le langage?
Un peu, madame.
Je te prie, m'enseigner. Il faut que je prenne à parler... comment t'appelles-tu le main en anglais?
La main est appelée des hands.
Des hands. Et les doigts?
Et oui, Ma foi, j'ai voulu les doigts. I'm sorry. J'ai mis, j'ouvre les doigts et pensé qui sont appelés des fingers. Oui, des fingers.
Le nom de hand, les trois, de fingers. Je pense que je suis le bon écolier. J'ai gagné des mots dans le droit l'évitement. Comment t'appelles-tu les ongles?
Nous les appelons des Nils.
De Niels? Écoutez, dites-moi, si je peux bien, de hand, de fingers et de Niels?
C'est bien dit, madame. Est-ce pour be anglais?
Dites-moi l'endroit pour le bras.
Bien, madame.
Et le coude? De elbow? De elbow, je me fais la répétition de tous les mots que vous m'avez pas appris dès à présent.
Il est trop difficile. Madame, comment je pas?
Excusez-moi, Alice. Écoutez, de hand, de fingers, de nails, de arme, de Bilbo?
The elbow, madame.
De elbow. Oh, Seigneur Dieu. Je m'en oublié. De elbow. Comment t'appelles-tu le col?
The neck, madame.
De Nick. Et le menton?
The chin.
De Sin, le col de Nick. De menton de Shin.
Oui. Sur votre honneur en vérité, vous prononcez les mots aussi droit qu'à la native d'Angleterre.
Je ne dû pas te prendre. Pour la grâce de Dieu. Et on prend du temps.
Avez-vous déjà oublié ce que je vous ai enseigné?
Non, je réciterai à vous prendre temps. De hand, de fingers, de nails.
The nerf, madame.
De nails. De arme. De elbow.
Sur votre honneur, the elbow.
Ensuite, de elbow, de Nick, de champ. Comment t'appelles-tu le pied à la robe?
Des foot, madame, et de con.
De foot et de con. Oh, Seigneur Dieu. Ce sont de son mauvais, horrible, bleu, gros et un peu dire. Et non pas le dôme d'honneur de rusé. Je ne voudrais prononcer ce mot devant les seigneurs de France pour tout le monde. Fort. Le fou et le con. Ne moi. Je réciterai une autre fois le mot lacan ensemble. De hand, de fingers, de nails, de arm, de elbow, de nick, de chien, de foot, de con.
Excellent, madame.
C'est assez pour une fois. Allons-nous à dîner.
And that was Catherine, Princess of France, learning a little bit of English, which becomes important later. Becomes important later. And away they go.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, Act 3, Scene 5 of Henry V, here comes the King of France, an even worse stereotype with the Dauphin, who's Duke of Brittany, the Constable of France, and others. 'Tis certain years past the river Somme.
And if ye be not fought withal, my lord, let us not live in France. Let us quit all and give our vineyards to barbarous Pipin. Oh, Dieu vivant, shall a few sprays of us the emptying of our fathers' luxury, our scions put in wild and savage stall, suddenly into the clouds and overlook their grafters?
Who is Brittany? Am I Brittany? No, I'm not.
I don't have it on my list.
I have bird.
Normands, mon bastard, Normands, Normand bastards, ma vie. They march along on foot with all, but I was Selma Duke to wear slobbering a dirty farm at the nuke shot out of Albion.
Do you, Debateur, where have they this metal? Is not their climate foggy, raw, and dull? On whom, as in despite, the sun look pale, killing their fruit with frowns? Can salt and water a drench for serene jades? Their barley brawl? Oh, blood to such valiant heat? And shall our quick blood spirited with wine seem frosty? Oh, for honor of our land. Like roping icicles upon our houses' thatch, while the more frosty people sweat drops of gallant youth in our rich fields. Poor we may call them in their native lore. Owner, our madams mock us and plainly say, our metal is bred out, and they will give their bodies to the lust of English youth. France with bastard warriors.
They bid us to the English dancing schools and teach Lavoter's high and swift cantos, saying our grace is only in our heels and that we are most lofty runaways. Where is Montjoy's herald? Speed him hence. Let him greet England with a sharp defiance. Up, François, and my spirit of honor age more sharper than your swords, I to the field. Charles Delabrun, I Constable of France, you Dukes of Orleans, Bourbon and of Berry, Assenon, Brabant, Ban and Burgundy, Jacques Chantillon, Rambert, Vaudemont, Beaumont, Grandpère, Roussy, and Falconbridge, Foy, Lestrade, Bouquinot, and Charolais, I, Dukes, great princes, barons, lords, and knights. For your great seats now quit you of your great shame. Bah, array England that sweeps through our land with pennons painted in the blood of our flair. Rush on his host, as does the melted snow upon the valleys whose low vassal seats the Alps to spit and void as a rumpon. Go down upon him, not like that. Go down upon him. You have power enough, and in a captive chariot in Rouen, bring him out prisoner.
This becomes the great. Sorry, I am. His numbers are so few. His soldiers sick and famished in their mark. For I am sure when he shall see our army, he'll drop his heart into the sink of fear, and for achievement offer us his ransom.
Therefore, Lord Constable Esther Montjoy, and say to England that we send to know what willing ransom he will give. Prince Dauphin, you shall stay with us in Rouen.
No, sir, I do beseech your majesty.
Be patient, for you shall remain with us. Now force Lord Constable and Princes all, and quickly bring us word of England. For oh God, it's these guys again.
Oh, wait, I'm doing Susan.
Yeah.
Oh Christ. Anyway,
It's not going to be Welsh, but it's going to be.
here comes the 45th Stereotype Brigade again.
Hey, I'm from the Midwest. It's okay.
Here come the various captains. Here they are again. Who was Gower again?
I'm Gower. Okay.
Okay.
How now, Captain Fluellen? Come you from a bridge?
I assure you, there is very excellent services committed at the bridge.
Is the Duke of Exeter safe?
Duke of Exeter is as magnanimous as Agamemnon, and a man that I love and honor with my soul, and my heart, and my duty, and my life, and my living, and my uttermost power. He is not, God be praised and blessed, but keeps the bridge most valiantly, with excellent discipline. There is a lieutenant there at the bridge, I think. In my very conscience, he is as valiant a man as Mark Antony, and he is a man of no estimation in the world. But he did see him do a gallant service.
What do you call him?
He is called, Ancient Pistol.
Oh no, am I gonna have to talk to him? Because I know him not. I don't know him.
Enter Pistol.
Did you read that?
It's Fitzflewellen.
I praise God, and I have merited some
Nope.
love at his hand.
Oh,
It
we
doesn't-
skipped here's the man. I guess it doesn't really
I know I
matter.
said- Oh no, I did
Pistol's
say
here.
it.
Pistol's here.
All right. Captain ID. I forgot it. Texas. Yeah, I just can't. Hold on, let me get his picture up. Oh. South. What the hell is South? What does the south of the United States sound like?
Of where I could do a southern accent.
Down in the wait, what? I totally lost it. We've been doing too many of them.
Like,
Shit,
Captain, I thee beseech to thee to do
Captain,
me, that kind of thing.
yeah. I thee beseech to do me favors. The Duke of Exeter doth love thee well. We got it.
I praise God, and I have merited some love at his hands.
Bardolph, a soldier firm and sound of heart and of buxom valor, hath by cruel fate and giddy fortune's furious fickle wheel, that goddess blind, that stands upon the rolling restless stone.
And by your patience, Sergeant Pistol, Fortune is painted blind with a muffler for her eyes to signify to you that Fortune is blind. And she is painted also with a wheel to signify to you, which is the moral of it, that she is turning. Inimmutable and variation. And her foot, look you, is fixed upon a spherical stone which rolls and rolls and rolls. Foot makes a most excellent description of it. Fortune is an excellent moral.
Fortune is Baldolph's foal, and frowns on him, for he has stolen a pax, and hanged must be a damned death. Let gallows gape for dog, let man go free, and let not hemp his windpipe suffocate. But Exeter hath given the doom of death for packs of little price. Therefore, go speak, the Duke will hear thy voice, and let not Bardolph's vital thread be cut, with edge of penny cord and vile reproach. Speak, Captain, for his life, and I will thee requite.
Sergeant Pistol, I do partly understand your meaning.
Why then, rejoice therefore.
Certainly, Sergeant, it is not a thing to rejoice at. Look at you. My brother, I would desire the Duke to use his good pleasure and put him to execution, for discipline ought to be used.
Well, thine be damned, and Figo for thy friendship.
Is well.
The Fig of Spain.
Very good.
And so, Llewellyn exits.
Why, this is an errant counterfeit rascal. I remember him now, a bawd, a cut purse.
I assure you, it uttered his brave word at the bridge as you shall see in a summer's day. But it is very well. When that he has spoke to me, that is well. I warrant you when time is served.
Why, 'tis a gull, a fool, a rogue, and now and then goes to the wars to grace himself at his return into London under the form of a soldier. And such fellows are perfect in the great commanders' names, and they will learn you by rote where services were done. At such and such a sconce, at such a breach, at such a convoy. Who came off bravely, who was shot, who was disgraced, what terms the enemy stood on, and this they con perfectly in the phrase of war, which they trick up with new-tuned oaths. And what a beard of a general's cut and a horrid suit of camp will do among foaming bottles and ale-washed wits is wonderful to be thought on. But you must learn to know such slanders of the age, or else you may be marvelously mistook.
I tell you what, Captain Grauer, I do perceive he is not the man that he would gladly make show to the world he is. Coat, I will tell him my mind. Hark you, the king is coming, and I must speak with him from the bridge. God bless your majesty.
How now, Llewellyn? Camest thou from the bridge?
I so please your majesty. The Duke of Exeter has very gallantly maintained the bridge. The French is gone, look you, and there is gallant and most brave passages. Marry, the adversary was have possession of the bridge, but he is enforced to retire, and the Duke of Exeter is master of the bridge. I can tell your majesty, the Duke is a brave man.
What men have you lost, Llewellyn?
The perdition of the anniversary hath been very great, reasonably great. Many, for my part, I think the Duke hath lost never a man, but one that is like to be executed for robbing a church, one Bardolph, if your majesty know the man, his face is all and whelks and knobs and flames of fire, and his lips blow at his nose and is like a coal of fire, sometimes plus and sometimes red, but his nose is executed and his fire is out.
We would have all such offenders so cut off, and we give express charge that in our marches through the country there be nothing compelled from the villages, nothing taken but paid for. None of the French upbraided or abused in disdainful language, for when leniency and cruelty play for a kingdom, the gentler gamester is the soonest winner. Enter Tucket and Montjoy.
You know me by my habit.
Well then, I know thee. What shall I know of thee?
My master's mind.
Unfolded.
Oh no. Thus says my king. Wait, that just sounds like really racist Mexican suddenly. Oh no.
That's something different.
No. Omelette du fromage. We got it. Okay. Thus say my king. Say thou to Henry of England, though we seem dead, but did not sleep. Advantage is a better soldier than rashness. Tell him we could have rebuked him at Harfleur, but we thought not good a bruise and injury till it were full ripe. Now we speak upon our cue, and our voice is imperial. England shall repent his folly, see his weakness, and admire our souffrance. Bid him therefore consider of his ransom, which must proportion to the losses we have borne, the subjects we have lost, the disgrace we have digested, which in wait to re-answer his pettiness would bow under. For our losses, his exchequer is too poor for the effusions of our blood, the muster of his kingdom too faint to number, and for our disgrace, his own person kneeling at our feet, but the weak and worthless satisfaction. To this add defiance. I tell him for conclusion, he hath betrayed his followers, whose condemnation is pronounced. So far, my king and master, so much office.
What is thy name? I know thy quality.
Montjoy.
Thou dost thy office fairly. Turn thee back, and tell thy king I do not seek him now, but could be willing to march on to Calais without impeachment. For, to say sooth, though 'tis no wisdom to confess so much unto an enemy of craft and vantage, my people are with sickness much enfeebled, my numbers lessened, and those few I have almost no better than so many French, who when they were in health, I tell thee, herald, I thought upon one pair of English legs did march 3 Frenchmen. Yet forgive me God that I do brag thus. Thus is your heir of France hath blown that vice in me. I must repent. Go therefore, tell thy master here I am. My ransom is this frail and worthless trunk, my army but a weak and sickly guard. Yet God before, tell him we will come on, though France himself and such another neighbour standing up. There's for thy labour. Montjoy, go bid thy master well advise himself. If we may pass, we will. If we be hindered, we shall your tawny ground with your red discolour. And so, Montjoy, fare you well. The sum of all our answer is but this: we would not seek a battle as we are, nor as we are, we say we will not shun it. So tell your master.
I shall deliver so. Thank you, your highness.
Gloucester. Oh, who's Gloucester? Oh, well, whatever. Gloucester says,
I'm sorry, that's me.
oh, no, sorry.
I hope they will not come upon us now.
We are in God's hand, brother, and theirs. March to the bridge. It now draws toward night. Beyond the river we'll encamp ourselves, and on tomorrow bid them march away. So they leave. Here comes the Constable of France, the Lord Rambert, Orléans, Dauphin, and the others.
But I have the best armor of the world. Would it were there.
Not Orleans.
Oh, I am Orléans. You have an excellent armor, but
It is the best horse of Europe.
will it never be morning?
My lord of Orleans, and my lord high constable, you talk of horse and armor.
You are as well provided as both as any prince as well.
Not a long night is this. I will not change my horse with any that treads but on 4 pasterns. Ha ha! He bounds from the earth as if his entrails were hares. Le cheval volant, the Pegasus, chez la narine des feux. Him I soar, I am a hawk. He trots the air. The earth sings when he touches it. The bassest horn of his hoof is more musical than the pipe of Hermes.
He's of the color of the nutmeg.
Of the heat of the ginger. It is a beast for Perseus. He is pure air and fire, and the dull element of earth and water never appear in him, but only in patient stillness while his rider mounts him. He is indeed a horse, and all other jades you may call beasts. Indeed, my lord, it is a most absolute and excellent horse. Palfreys. His neigh is like the biting of a monarch, and his countenance enforces harmony.
No more, cousin.
Ay, the man hath no wit that cannot. From the rising of the lark to the lodging of the lamb, very deserved praise on my palfrey. It is a theme as fluent as the sea. Turn the sons into eloquent tongue, and my horse's argument for them all. 'Tis a subject for a sovereign to reason on, and for a sovereign to ride on, and for the world, familiar to us and unknown, to lay apart their particular functions and wonder at him. I once wrote a sonnet in his praise and began thus: Wonder of nature.
I have heard a sonnet so begin to one's mistress.
And did they imitate that which I composed to my corsair? For my horse is my mistress.
Your mistress bears well.
Well, which is the brisker praise and perfection of a good and particular mistress. Nay, for me thought yesterday your mistress truly shook your back. So perhaps did yours. Mine was not bridled. Oh, that'd be like she was old and gentle, and you rode like a cairn of Ireland. Your French hose off, and your have good judgment in horsemanship. Be warned by me, then. They that ride so and ride not warily fall into foul bogs. I had rather have my horse to my mistress. I had as lief have my mistress a jade. I tell thee, constable, my mistress wears his own hair. Because true boast is that if I had a soul to my mistress, lest she es return à son propre, vomissime à la true lover ababil, don't make us use of anything. Use my horse for my mistress, or any such proverb so little kin to the purpose.
My lord, constable, the armor that I saw in your tent tonight, are those stars or suns upon?
Stars, my lord. Some of them will fall tomorrow, I hope, and yet my sky shall not want. That may be, for you bear a many superfluously, and twere more honor somewhere away. Even as your horse bears your praises, who would trot as well, were some of your brags dismounted? Would I were able to load it with this desert? Will it never be day? I will trot tomorrow a mile, and my way shall be paved with English faces. So, for fear I shall be faced out of my way, but I would it were morning, for I would fain be about the ears of the English.
Who will go to Hazard with me for 20 prisoners?
Must first go yourself to Hazard ere you have them. 'Tis midnight, I'll go arm myself.
The Dauphin longs for morning. He longs to eat the English.
I think he will eat all he kill.
By the white hand of my lady, he's a gallant prince.
Well, by her foot, that she may trade out the oath.
He is simply the most active gentleman of France.
Doing his activity, and he will still be doing.
He never did arms that I heard of.
Or will do none tomorrow. He will keep that good name still.
I know him to be valiant.
It was told that by one that knows him better than you.
What's he?
Marry, he told me so himself, and he said he cared not to know it.
He needs not. It is not hidden virtue in him.
My faith, sir, but it is. Never anybody saw it, but his lackey. 'Tis a hooded valor, and when it appears, it will bait.
Ill will never said well.
I will cap that proverb with, there is flattery in friendship.
And I will take up that which gives the devil his due.
Well placed. There stands your friend for the devil. Haveth the very eye of that proverb with a pox of the devil.
Ah, you are better at proverbs, but how much a fool's bolt is soon shut.
You have shot over.
'Tis not the first time you were overshot. In comes a messenger.
My lord High Constable, the English lie within 500 paces of your tents. Round. The Lord Grandpa. Expert gentleman. Would it were day, alas, poor Harry of England. He longs not for the dawning as we do.
What a wretched and peevish fellow is this King of England, to mope with his fat brown followers so far out of his knowledge.
If the English had any apprehension, they would run away.
That's a lack, for if they odds at any intellectual arm, never wear such heavy headpieces. That island of England breeds very valiant creatures. Their mastiffs are of unmatchable courage. Foolish cares that run winking into the and bear heads crushed like rotten. You may as well say there's a valiant fleas that dare eat his breakfast on the lip of a lion.
Just. And the men do sympathize with the mastiffs in robustious and rough coming on, leaving their wits with their wives, and then give them great meals of beef and iron and steel. They will eat like wolves and fight like devils.
Aye, but these English are shrewdly out of beef.
And shall we find tomorrow they have only stomachs to eat and none to fight? Now, is it time to arm? Come, shall we about it?
It is now 2 o'clock, but let me see. By 10, we shall have each 100 Englishmen. So basically, the tea is that the French are going to kick their ass, and they're confident. Here comes the chorus. Now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. From camp to camp, through the foul womb of night, the hum of either arm stilly sound. Fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their paly flames each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed in high and boastful note, piercing the knight's dull ear, and from the tents the armourers, accomplishing the knights with busy hammers, closing rivets up, give dreadful note of preparation. The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning of their secure in soul, the confident and over-lusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and chide the crippled tardy-gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously. The poor condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger, and their gesture sad, investing lank lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presented them unto the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band walking to what? From tent to tent. Let him cry praise and glory on his head, for he goes and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath, nor doth he dedicate one jot of colour unto the weary and all-wretched knight, but freshly looks and overbears a taint with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every wretch, pining and pale before, beholding him, plucks comfort from his look. A largest universal like the sun, his thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold as many a little touch of Harry in the night. And so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill-disposed in brawl ridiculous the name of Agincourt. Yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. So it's night time before the battle. The English are probably going to get their ass kicked. Here comes the King, Bedford, and Gloucester. Gloucester, 'tis true that we are in great danger. The greater, therefore, should our courage be. Good morrow, brother Bedford. God Almighty, there is some soul of goodness in things evil, would men observingly distill it out. For our bad neighbour makes us early stirrers, which is both healthful and good husband. Besides, they are our outward consciences and preachers to us all, admonishing that we should dress us fairly for our end. Thus may we gather honey from the weed, and make a moral of the devil himself. Here comes Erpingham. Good morrow, old Sir Thomas Erpingham. A good soft pillow for that good white head were better than a churlish turf of France.
Ah, Sir Maliche, this lodging likes me better, since I may say now I lie like a king.
'Tis good for men to love their present pains, upon example, so the spirit is eased. And when the mind is quickened out of doubt, the organs, though defunct and dead before, break up their drowsy grave, and newly move with casted slough and fresh legerity. Lend me thy cloak, Sir Thomas. Brothers both, commend me to the princes in law. Do my good morrow to them, and anon desire them all to my pavilion.
Shall, my liege.
Shall I attend your grace?
No, my good knight. Go with my brothers to my lords of England. I and my bosom must debate a while, and then I would no other company.
The Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Harry.
I think it's a good page. No, I haven't. Everyone but King Harry leaves, and then God of mercy, old heart, thou speaks cheerfully.
Qui va la?
A friend.
Discuss unto me, art thou officer, or art thou base, common and popular?
I am a gentleman of the company.
Trailest thou the puissant pike?
Even so. What are you?
As good a gentleman as the emperor.
Then you are better than the king.
The king's a bawcock and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, of parents good, of fist most valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe, and from heartstring I love the lovely bully. What is thy name?
Harry Leroy.
Leroy! A Cornish name? Art thou of Cornish crew?
No, I am a Welshman.
Knowst thou Fluellen?
Yes.
Well, tell him. I'll knock his leak about his pate upon St. Davy's Day.
Now, do not wear your dagger in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours.
Art thou his friend?
And his kinsman, too.
The fig out for thee, then.
I thank you. God be with you.
My name's Pistol called.
It sorts well with your fierceness. Enter Fluellen and Gower.
Captain Fluellen.
So, in the name of Jesu Christ, speak lower. It is the greatest admiration of the universal world when the true and out and and laws of the wars are not kept. If you would take the pains but to examine the wars of Pompey the Great, you shall find, I warrant you, that there is no tittle-tattle nor pittle-pattle in Pompey's camp. I warrant you, you shall find the ceremonies of the wars, and the cares of it, and the forms of it, and the sobriety of it, and the modesty of it to be otherwise.
Why, the enemy is loud. You hear him all night. I mean...
If the enemy is an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb, it is met, think you. Oh, look you, be an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb. In your own conscience now?
I'll speak lower.
I pray you and beseech you that you will.
Though it appear a little out of fashion, there is much care and valour in this Welshman. Enter 3 soldiers, John Bates, Alexander Court, and Michael Williams. None of whom are me.
I'll be Bates.
Cool.
Wait, do we need more people?
Yeah, I think
I'll
we
do
need
a thing. I'll be Williams.
So we need a court.
I can be court.
Cool.
Brother John Bates, is not that the morning which breaks yonder?
I think it be. We have no great cause to desire the approach of day.
We see yonder the beginning of day, but I think we shall never see the end of it. Who goes there?
A friend.
Under what captain serve you?
Under Sir Thomas Erpingham.
Ah, a good old commander and most kind gentleman. I pray you, what thinks he of our estate?
Even as men wrecked upon a sand that to be washed off the next tide.
Hath not told you his thought to the king?
No, nor it is not meet he should, for though I speak it to you, I think the king is but a man. I am. The violet smells to him as it doth to me. The element shows to him as it doth to me. All his senses have but human conditions. His ceremonies laid by, nakedness he appears but a man, and though his affections are higher mounted than ours, yet when they stoop with like wing. Therefore, when he sees reason of fears as we do, his fears, out of doubt, be of the same relish as ours are. Yet in reason no man should possess him with any appearance of fear, lest by showing it should dishearten his army.
We may show what outward courage he will, but I believe, so cold a night as 'tis, he could wish himself in Thames up to the neck. And I by him, at all adventures, so were we quit here.
By my troth, I will speak my conscience of him. I think he would not wish himself anywhere but where he...
And I would he were here alone, so he could be sure to be ransomed, as many poor men's lives saved.
I dare say you love him not so ill to wish him here alone. Howsoever you speak this to feel other men's minds. Methinks I could not die anywhere so contented as in the king's company, his cause being just and his quarrel honourable.
That's more than we know.
Aye, or more than we should seek after. If we know we are the king's subjects, our obedience to the king wipes the crime of it out of us.
But if the cause be not good, the king himself hath a heavy reckoning to make, when all those legs and arms and heads chopped off in battle shall join together in this latter day and cry all, we died at such a place. Some swearing, some crying for a surgeon, some upon their wives left poor behind them, some upon the debts they owe, some upon their children rawly left. I am afeard they are few die well that die in battle, for how can they charitably dispose of anything, when blood is their argument? Now, if these men do not die well, it will be a black matter for the king that led them to it, whom to disobey were against all proportion of subjection.
So if a son that is by his father sent about merchandise do sinfully miscarry upon the sea, the imputation of his wickedness by your rule should be imposed upon his father that sent him? Or if a servant, under his master's command, transporting a sum of money, be assailed by robbers and die in many irreconciled iniquities, you may call the business of the master the author of the servant's damnation? But this is not so. The king is not bound to answer the particular endings of his soldiers, the father of his son, nor the master of his servant, for they purpose not their death when they purpose their services. Besides, there is no king, be his cause never so spotless, if it come to the arbitrament of swords, can try it out with all unspotted soldiers. Some peradventure have on them the guilt of premeditated and contrived murder, some of beguiling virgins with the broken seals of perjury, some making the wars their bulwark that have gone before gored the gentle bosom of peace with pillage and robbery. Now if these men have defeated the law and outrun native punishment, though they can outstrip men, they have no wings to fly from God. War is his beetle, war is his vengeance, so that here men are punished for before breach of the king's laws and now the king's quarrel. Where they feared the death, they have borne life anyway, borne life away, and where they would be safe, they perish. Then if they die unprovided, no more is the king guilty of their damnation than he was before guilty of those impieties they are now. Every subject's duty is the king's, but every subject's soul is his own. Therefore should every soldier in the wars do as every sick man in his bed, wash every mote out of his conscience. Dying so, death is to him advantage, or not dying, time was blessedly lost wherein preparation was gained. And in him that escaped, we were not sinned to think that, making God so free an offer, he let him outlive that day, to see his greatness and to teach others how they should prepare.
'Tis certain, every man that dies ill, the ill upon his own head. The king is not to answer it.
I do not desire he should answer for me, and yet I determined to fight lustily for him.
I myself heard the king say he would not be ransomed.
Aye, he said so, to make us fight cheerfully. But when our throats are cut, he may be ransomed, and we never the riser.
If I live to see it, I will never trust his word.
You pay him, then. That's a perilous shot out of an elder gun, that a poor private displeasure can go against a monarch. You may as well go about to turn the sun to ice with fanning in his face with a peacock's feather. You'll never trust his word after. Come, 'tis a foolish saying.
Your reproof is something too round. I should be angry with you if the time were convenient.
Let it be a quarrel between us if you live.
I embrace it.
How shall I know thee again?
Give me any gage of thine, and I will wear it. Then if ever thou darest acknowledge it, I will make it.
Here's my glove. Give me another of thine.
There.
This will I also wear in my cap. If ever thou come to me and say, after tomorrow, this is my glove, by this hand I will take thee a box on the ear.
If ever I live to see it, I will challenge.
Thou darest as well be hanged.
Well, I will do it, though I take thee in the king's company.
Keep thy word. Fare thee well.
Be friends, you English fools, be friends. We have French quarrels enow, you could tell how to reckon.
And so they leave. Indeed, the French may lay 20 French crowns to one they will beat us, for they bear them on their shoulders. But it is no English treason to cut French crowns, and tomorrow the king himself will clip it. Upon the king let us our lives, our soul, debts, our careful wives, our children and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all. No hard condition, twin-born with greatness, subject to the breath of every fool, whose sense no more can feel but his own ringing. What infinite heart-seas must kings live, private joy? And what have kings that privates have not too, save ceremony, save general ceremony? And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? What kind of god art thou that sufferest more of mortal griefs than do thy worshippers? What are thy rents? What are thy comings in? O ceremony, show me but thy worth. What is thy soul of adoration? Art thou aught else but place, degree, and form, creating awe and fear in other men? Wherein thou art less happy, being feared than they in fearing? What drink'st thou oft, instead of homage sweet, but poisoned flattery? O be sick, great greatness, and bid thy ceremony give thee cure. Think'st thou the fiery fever will go out, titled, blown from adulation? Will it give place to flexure and low bending? Canst thou, when thou command'st the beggar's knee, command the health of it? No, thou proud dream, that placed so subtly with a king's repose. I am a king that find thee, and I know 'tis not the balm, the sceptre, and the sword, the mace, the crown imperial, the intertissued robe of gold and pearl, the basset title running forth. The throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. No, not all these thrice gorgeous ceremonies, not all these laid in bed majestic, can sleep so soundly as a wretched slave, who with a body filled and vacant mind gets into rest, crammed with distressful bread, never sees horrid night, the child of hell, but like a lackey from the rise to set, sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium. Next day after dawn doth rise and help Hyperion to it, and follows so the ever-running year with profitable labour. And but for ceremony such a wretch, winding up days with toil and nights with sleep, had the forehand advantage of a the slave, a member of the country's peace, enjoys it, but in gross brain little wotes what king keeps to maintain the peace, whose hours the peasant bested.
My lord, your nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through your camp to find you.
Good old knight, collect them all together at my tent.
I shall do it, my lord.
God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts. Possess them not with fear. Take from them now the sense of reckoning, ere the posed numbers pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O Lord, O not today. Think not upon the fault my father made encompassing the crown. I Richard's body have interred now, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly. Twice a day they with hold up heaven to pardon. I have built 2 chantries where the sad and solemn priests sing still for Richard's. What will I do? Though all that I can do is nothing, since that my penitence comes after.
Liege.
My brother Gloucester's voice. Aye, I know thy errand. I will go with thee. The day, my friends, and all things stay. Enter the Dauphin, Orléans, Rambourg, and Beaumont. The sun doth gild our armor. Up, my lords!
Montez à cheval, my horse. Par là, la croix, ha!
Ah, brave spirit!
Ah, le haut et la terre.
Rien puis l'air feu.
Sire, cousin Orléans. Constable. Hark, how our steeds for present service neigh. Mount them, and make incision in their hides. that their hot blood may spin in English eyes, and doubt them with superfluous courage. Ha!
What? Will you have them weep our horses' blood? Or shall we then behold their natural tears? Here comes the
English
messenger.
are embattled, you French peers. Gallant princes, straight to whores, do but behold yon poor and starved band, and you fair show shall suck away their souls, leaving them but the shells and husks of men. There is not work enough for all our hands, scarce blood enough in all their sickly veins, to give each naked curtal axe a stain. That our French gallants shall today draw out and sheathe for lack of sport, let us but blow on them. The vapor of our valor will o'erturn them. 'Tis positive against all exceptions, lords, that our superfluous lackeys and our peasants, who in unnecessary actions swarm about our squares of battle, were now to purge this field of such a hiding foe. Though we upon this mountain's basis, by took stand for idle speculation. Honors must not, what's to say, a very little let us do, and all is done. Then let the trumpet sound, the tucket sonate, and the note to mount, for our approach shall so much tear the field, that England shall couch down in fear and yield.
Here comes Grand Pré. Why do you stay so long, my lords of France? Yond island carrions, desperate of their bones, ill-favoredly but their ragged cottons poorly are let loose, and our air shakes and passing scornfully. Big Miles seems bankrupt in their beggared host, and faintly through our rusty beaver peeps. The horsemen sit like fixed candlesticks with torch staves in their hand, and the poor jades lob down their heads, dropping their eyes and eeps. The gum drop dropping from their pale dead eyes, and in their pale dull mouths the grim old bit lies foul with chewed grass still in motion, and their executors, the knavish crows, fly over them all, patient for their hour. Description cannot suit itself in words to demonstrate that such a and life so lifeless as short itself.
Have said their prayers, and they stay for death. Them dinners and fresh suits, and give their fasting horses provender, and after fight with them. Before I guide on to the field, I will the banner from a trumpet take, and use it for my haste. Come away! The sun is high, and we outwear the day.
And so the French run into the field, and here comes Gloucester, Bedford, Exeter, Erpingham, all the lads are there except Henry. Who's Gloucester?
Where is the king?
The king himself is rode to view their battle. Westmoreland? Got Nella as Westmoreland?
Oh, I'm Exeter.
Oh. Who's Westmoreland? Someone really Westmoreland?
I mean, I could just take it.
Go.
Oh,
Fine.
oh, sorry, I was muted. I can do it if you don't want to talk to yourself.
Oh, yeah. You take Westmoreland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of fighting men they have full 300,000.
Oh, there's 5 to 1. Besides, they're all fresh.
God's arms strike with us, 'tis a fearful odds. God buy you princes all out to my charge, if we no more meet till we meet. Joyfully, my lord of bed, dear Lord Gloucester, and my good Lord Exeter, and my kind kinsmen, warriors all, adieu. Farewell, good Salisbury, and good luck go with thee.
Farewell, kind lord. Fight valiantly today. And yet I do thee wrong to mind thee of it, for thou art framed in the firm truth of valor.
He is as full of valor as of kindness, princely in both.
Oh, that we now had here but 1/10,000 of those men in England that do not work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss, and if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honour. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear, such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honour, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my cuz, wish not a man from me. God's peace. I would not lose so great an honour. Share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall see this day and live old, feast his neighbours and say, tomorrow is St. Crispian. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I have. Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantage. Eats he did that day, then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son. And Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world. In it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his and gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day.
My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battles set, and will with all expedients charge on us.
All things are ready, if our minds be so.
Perish the man whose mind is backward now.
Thou dost not wish more help from England, coz?
God's will, my liege. Would you and I alone without more help could fight this royal battle?
Why, now thou hast unwished 5,000 men, which... You know... God be with you all! Here comes Montjoy.
I'm there.
The French dude.
Yeah. Once more I come to know of thee, King Harry. If for thy ransom thou wilt now compound, before thy most assured overthrow, for certainly thou art so near the gulf, thou needst to be englutted. Besides, in mercy, the constable desires thee, thou wilt mind, thou followers of repentance, that their souls may make a peaceful and sweet retire from the, I just lost it, from these fields where wretches their poor bodies was lying fester.
Who hath sent thee now?
The constable of France.
I pray thee bear my former answer back. Bid them achieve me, and then sell my bones. Good God, why should they mock poor fellows thus? The man that once did sell the lion's skin while the beast lived was killed with hunting him. And many of our bodies shall no doubt find native graves, upon the which I trust shall witness live in brass of this day's work. And those that leave their valiant bones in France, dying like men, though buried in your dunghills, they shall be famed, for there the sun shall greet them and draw their honours reeking up to heaven, leaving their earthly parts to choke your clime, the smell whereof shall breed a plague in France. Mark then abounding valour in our English, that being dead, like to the bullets crazing, break out into a second course of mischief, killing in relapse of mortality. Let me speak proudly. Tell the constable we are but warriors for the working day. Our gayness and our guilt are all besmirched with rainy marching in the painful field. There's not a piece of feather in our host. Good argument, I hope we will not fly, and time hath worn us into slovenry. But by the mass, our hearts are in the trim. And my poor soldiers tell me yet ere night they'll be in fresher robes, or they will pull the gay new coats of French soldiers' heads and turn them out of service. If they do this, as if God please they shall, my ransom then will soon be levied. Herald, save thy labour. Come thou no more for ransom, gentle herald. They shall have none, I swear, but these my joints, which if they have, as I will leave them, shall yield them little. Tell the constable.
I shall, King Harry, and so fare thee well. Thou shalt never hear Harold any more.
I fear thou wilt once more come again for a ransom. Here comes York.
My lord, most humbly on my knee I beg, the leading of the varward.
Take it, brave York. Now soldiers marks away, and how thou pleaseth God dispose the day. The Battle of Agincourt. Here comes a pistol, a French soldier, and a boy.
Yield, cur!
Je pense que vous êtes le gentleman, mais au bon...
Qual ti call me, custure me? Art thou a gentleman? What is thy name? Discuss!
Seigneur Dieu.
Oh, Seigneur Dieu should be a gentleman. Perpend my words, O Seigneur Dieu, and mark, O Seigneur Dieu, thou diest on point of fox, except, O Seigneur, thou do give me egregious ransom.
Prenez miséricorde, pitié de moi.
Moy shall not serve. I will have 40 moys, or I will fetch thy rim out at thy throat in drops of crimson blood.
Est-il impossible d'échapper de force cet endroit?
Brass, cur! Thou damned and luxurious mountain goat, offerest me brass?
Pardonnez-moi.
Sayest thou me so? Is that a ton of moys? Come hither, boy. Ask me this slave in French. What is his name?
Écoutez, comment est-il appelé?
Monsieur le Fer.
Says his name is Master Fair.
Master Fair? I'll fair him. I'll furk him. And ferret him. Discuss the same in French unto him.
I do not know the French for fur and ferret and furk.
Bid him prepare, for I will cut his throat.
Que dit-il, monsieur?
Il me commandait de vous dire que faites-vous votre gourd?
Ah, oui, couple gourd permafoy. Peasant, unless thou give me crowns, brave crowns, or mangled thou shalt be by my sword.
Oh, je vous supplie, pour l'amour de Dieu, me prends. Je suis gentilhomme de bonne maison. Gardez ma vie, je vous donnerai 200 écus.
What are his words?
He prays you to save his life. He is a gentleman of a good house, and for his ransom he will give you 200 crowns.
Tell him then my fury shall abate, and the crowns I will take.
Petit monsieur, que dit-il?
Encore qu'il est contre son germain de pardonner aucun prisonnier non moins pour les excuses qui vous l'ont promis. Elle est contente de vous donner la liberté à les franchissement.
Ce matin, je vous donne 1000 récemment et je m'estimais heureux que j'ai tombé entre les mains d'un chevalier, je pense. J'ai plus brave, valiant et très distinguished seigneur d'Angleterre.
Expound unto me, boy.
Gives you, upon his knees, 1,000 thanks, and he esteems himself happy that he hath fallen into the hands of one, as he thinks, the most brave, valorous, and thrice worthy seigneur of England.
As I suck blood, I will some mercy show. Follow me!
Suivez-vous le grand capitaine? I did never know so full a voice issue from so empty a heart, but the saying is true. Makes the greatest sound. Bardolph and Nim had 10 times more valor than this roaring devil. The old play that every one more pare his nails with a wooden dagger, and they are both hanged. And so would this be. If he durst steal anything adventurously, I must stay with the lackeys, with the luggage of our camp. The French might have a good prey of us, if he knew of it, for there is none to guard it but boys.
Yeehaw!
So he leaves. And here come the French lads. There.
Oh, diable.
Oh, seigneur, le jeu est perdu, tout est perdu.
Lord de mes vies, all is confounded, all. Reproach and everlasting shame sit mocking in our plumes. All my chant fortune do not renew. Why, all our ranks are broke. Oh, perdurable shame. Let's stab ourselves. Be these the wretches that we played at dice for?
Is this the king we sent to for his ransom? Shame and eternal shame, nothing but shame. Let us die. And once more back again, and either we don't follow Bevel now, let him go out. Cap an end like a bear splendor, or the chamber door was by a base slave, no gentler than my dog. His fairest daughter is contaminated.
That hath spoiled us. Friend us now. Let us on heaps go offer up our lives.
We are enough let living in the field to smother up the English songs. If any order might be sought, the devil take order now. Others are strong. Let laugh be short, else shame will be too long. They all go to fight. Meanwhile, here comes the king and all of his lads, and they have prisoners. Well have we done, thrice valiant countrymen, but all's not done. Yet keep the French the field.
The Duke of York commends him to your majesty.
Lives he, good uncle. Thrice within this hour I saw him down, thrice up again and fighting from spur all blood he was.
Which away, brave soldier, doth he lie, larding the plain? And by his bloody side, York fellow, to his honour owning wounds, the noble Earl of Suffolk also lies. Suffolk first died. Struggled over, comes to him where in gore he lay ensteeped, and takes him by the beard. That bloodily did spawn upon his face, and cries aloud, Tarry, dear cousin Suffolk! My soul shall thine keep company to heaven. Tarry, sweet soul, for mine. And fly best, as in this glorious and well-foughten fight we kept together in our chivalry. I came and cheered him up. He smiled me in the face, wrought me his hand, and with a feeble grip says, I commend my service to me sovereign. Suffolk's neck he threw his wounded arm and kissed his lips. And so, espoused to death with blood, he sealed a testament of noble ending love. Great manner of it forced those waters from me, which I would have stopped. Much of man in me, and all my mother came into my nigh, and gave me up to tears.
I blame you for hearing this. Issue 2. But hark, what new alarm is this? The French have reinforced their scattered men. Then every soldier kill his prisoners. Give the word through. And they leave. Here comes Fluellen and Gower.
Kill the poison, the luggage. 'Tis expressly against the law of arms. 'Tis an errant of a piece of knavery. Mark you now, as can be oft. In your conscience now, is it not?
'Tis certain there's not a boy left alive, and the cowardly rascals that ran from the battle had done this slaughter. Besides, they burned and carried away all that was the king's tent. Wherefore the king, most worthily, hath caused every soldier to cut his prisoner's throat. Oh, 'tis a gallant king.
He was born in Monmouth, Captain Gower. His name were Alexander the was born.
Alexander the Great.
Well, I pray you, is not a big great? The big or the great or the mighty or the huge or the magnanimous are all one reckoning, save the phrase is a little variations.
I love a hot dog. I think Alexander the Great was born in Macedon. His father was called Philip of Macedon, as I take it.
I think it is in Macedon where Alexander is born. I tell you, Captain, if you look in the maps of the world, I warrant you shall find in the comparisons between Macedon and Monmouth that the situations look you is both alike. There is a river in Macedon, and there is also, moreover, a river at Monmouth. But it is out of my praise what is the name of the other river. But 'tis all one. 'Tis alike as my fingers is to my fingers, and there is salmons in both. Alexander's life well. Harry of Monmouth's life is come after it indifferent well. For there is figures in all things. Alexander, God knows, and you know, in his rages and his furies and his wraths and his colors and his moods and his displeasures and his indignations, and also being a little intoxicants in the brains, did in his ails and his angers look you kill his best friend Cletus.
Our king's not like him in that. He's never killed any of his friends.
It's not well done. Mark you now take the tales out of my mouth, ere it is made and finished. I speak but in the figures and comparisons of it. As Alexander killed his friend Cletus, being in his ales and his cups, so also Harry Monmouth, being in his right wits and in his good judgments, turned away the fat knight with the great belly doublet. He was full of jest and gips and knaveries and mocks.
Sir John Falstaff.
That is he. I tell you, there is good men more in Monmouth.
Well, here comes His Majesty.
And here comes King Harry with Bourbon and the others have been taken prisoner. I was not angry since I came to France until this instant. Take a trumpet, herald. Ride thou unto the horsemen on yond hill. If they will fight with us, bid them come down or void the field. They do a sight. If they'll do neither, we will come to them and make them scur away as swift as stones and force it from the old Assyrian slings. Besides, we'll cut the throats of those we have, and not a man of them shall taste our mercy. Go and tell them so.
Here come the herald of the French, my liege.
Gloucester says, his eyes are humbler than they used to be. How now, what means this, herald? Knowst thou not that I have fined these bones of mine for ransom? Comest thou again for ransom?
No, great king. I come for thee for charitable license. That we may wander o'er this bloody field, to look our dead and then to bury them, to sort our nobles from our common men. For many of our princes, woe the while, lie drowned and soaked in mercenary blood. So do our vulgar drench their peasant limbs in blood of princes and their wounded steeds. Fretlock deep in gore and with wild rage, yet yerk out their armed heels and their dead masters, killing them twice. Oh, give us leave, great king, to view the field in safety and dispose of their dead bodies.
I tell thee truly, herald, I know not if the day be ours or no, for yet a many of your horsemen peer and gallop o'er the field.
The day is yours.
Praised be God, and not our strength for it. What is this castle called that stands hard by?
They call it Agincourt.
Then call we this the field of Agincourt, fought on the day of Crispin Crispianus.
Your grandfather of famous memory, and please your majesty, and your great-uncle Edward the Black, Prince of Wales, as I have read in the chronicles, fought a most brave battle here in France.
They did, Fluellen.
It says very true. If your majesties is remembered of it, the Welshmen did good service in a garden where leeks did grow, wearing leeks in their Monmouth caps. To this hour is an honorable badge of the service. And I do believe your majesty takes no scorn to wear the leek upon St. Tabby's Day.
I wear it for a memorable honour, for I am Welsh, you know, good countryman.
All the water and wine cannot wash your majesty's Welsh blood out of your body. I can tell you that. Preserve it for as long as it pleases his grace and his majesty too.
Thanks, good my countryman.
I am your majesty's countryman. I care not who knows it. I'll confess it all to the world. I need not be ashamed of your majesty. Praised be God, so long as your majesty is an honest man.
God keep me so. Enter Williams. Our heralds go with him. Bring me just notice of the numbers dead on both our parts. Call yonder fellow hither.
Soldier, you must come to the king.
Soldier, why wearest thou that glove in thy cap?
And please your majesty, 'tis the gage of one that I should fight withal if he be alive.
An Englishman?
And please your majesty, a rascal that swaggered with me last night, who, if alive, and ever dared to challenge this glove, I have sworn to take him a box or the ear. Or, if I can see my glove in his cap, which he swore, as he was a soldier, he would wear if alive, I will strike it out soundly.
What think you, Captain Fluellen? Is it fit the soldier keep his oath?
He's a craven and a villain else, and please your majesty and my conscience.
It may be his enemy is a gentleman of great sort, quite from the answer of his degree.
Though he be as good a gentleman as the devil is, as Lucifer and Beelzebub himself, it is necessary, look your grace, that he keeps his vow and his oath. You know his reputation is as arrant a villain and a jack-sauce as ever his black shoe trod upon God's earth and ground and his earth in my conscience. La!
Then keep thy vow, sirrah, when thou meetst this fellow.
So I will, my liege, as I live.
Who servest thou under?
Captain Gower, my liege.
Ah, Gower's a good captain, and a good knowledge and literature in the wars.
Call him hither to me, soldier.
I will, my liege.
Here, Llewellyn, wear thou this favour for me, and stick it in thy cap. When Algernon and myself were down together, I took this glove from his helm. If any man challenge this, he is a friend to Alanson, and an enemy to our person. If thou encounter any such, apprehend him, and thou dost me love.
Your grace dues me as great honours as can be desired in the hearts of his subjects. I would fain to see the man that has but 2 legs that shall find himself aggrieved at this glove. Fain to see it once, and please God of his grace that I might see.
Knowest thou Gower?
He is my dear friend, and please you.
Pray thee go and seek him, and bring him to my tent.
I will fetch him.
My lord of Warwick and my brother Gloucester, follow Llewellyn closely at the heels. The glove which I have given him for a favour may haply purchase him a box of the ear. It is the soldier's. I by bargain should wear it myself. Follow, good cousin Warwick. If that soldier strike him, as I judged by his blunt bearing, he will keep his word. Some sudden mischief may arise of it. For I do know Llewellyn valiant, and touched with choler, hot as gunpowder, quickly will return an injury. Follow and see there be no harm between them. Go you with me, Uncle of Exeter. So they leave, and here comes Gower and Williams.
Shit. I warrant it is to knight you, Captain.
God's will and his pleasure, Captain. I beseech you now, come apace to the king. There is more good toward your peradventure than is in your knowledge to dream of.
Sir, know you this glove?
Glove? I know the glove is glove.
I know this, and thus I challenge it.
Sblood! An arrant traitor as any it is in the universal world, or in France or in England.
Oh, now, sir, you villain! Do you think I'll be forsworn?
Away, Captain Gower, I will give treason his payment in plows, I warrant you.
Ah, I am no traitor!
That's a lie in thy throat. I charge you in his majesty's name, apprehend him. He's a friend of the Duke Alacon's.
Enter Warwick and Gloucester. Oh, Warwick is me. How now? What?
My lord Warwick, here is, praised be God for it, a most contagious treason come to light. Look you as you shall desire in a summer's day. Here is his majesty.
How now? What's the matter?
My liege, here is a villain and a traitor that, look your grace, has struck the glove which your majesty has take out the helmet at Alicon.
My liege, this was my glove. Here is the fellow of it, and he that I gave it to in change promised to wear it in his cap. I promised to strike him, and if he did, I met this man with my glove in his cap, and I have been as good as my word.
Your majesty, hear me now. Saving your majesty's manhood, what an arrant, rascally, beggarly, lousy knave it is. I hope your majesty is bear me testimony and witness and will avouchment that this is the glove of Alicon. Be in your conscience now?
Give me thy glove, soldier. Look, here is the fellow of it. 'Twas I, indeed, thou promised to strike, and thou hast given me most bitter terms.
Please, your majesty, let his neck answer for it. Martial law in the world.
How canst thou make me satisfaction?
All offences, my lord, come from the heart. Never came from any from mine that might offend your majesty.
It was ourself thou didst abuse.
Your majesty came not like yourself. You appeared to me but as a common man. Witness the night. Your garments, your lowliness, and what your highness suffered under that shape. I beseech thee, you take it for your own fault and not mine. For had you been as I took you for, I made no offence. Therefore, I beseech your highness, pardon me.
Here, Uncle Exeter, fill this glove with crowns and give it to this fellow. Keep it, fellow, and wear it for an honour in thy cap, till I do challenge it. Give him the crowns, and captain, you must needs be friends with him.
By this day and this light, the fellow has metal enough in his belly. There's 12 pence for you. I've got and keep you out of brawls and troubles and quarrels and dissensions, and I warrant you it is the better for you.
I will none of your money.
It is with goodwill. I can tell you it will serve you to mend your shoes. Come, wherefore should you be so bashful? Warrant you, or I will change it.
Here comes a herald. Now, herald, are the dead numbered?
Here is the number of the slaughtered French.
What prisoners of good sort are taken, uncle?
Charles, Duke of Orleans, nephew to the king, John, Duke of Bourbon, and Lord Buckwalt. His knights and squires, full 1,500, besides common men.
This note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain. Princes in this number are nobles bearing banners there lie dead, 126. Added to these of knights, esquires, and gallant gentlemen, 8,400, of the which 500 were but yesterday dubbed knights. So that in these 10,000 have they lost. There are but 1,600 mercenaries, the rest are princes, barons, lords, knights, squires, and gentlemen of blood and quality. The names of those their nobles that Charles de la Breth, High Constable of France, Jacques of Chantilly, Admiral of France, the Master of the Crossbows, Lord Rambures, Great Master of France the Brave, Sir Guichard d'Enfin, John, Duke of Alcenon, Anthony Brabant, the mother to the Duke of Burgundy, the brother to the Duke of Burgundy, and Edward, Duke of Bar. Of lusty earls, Grandpré and Roussy, Falconbridge and Foix, Beaumont and Marle, Vardemont and Mistral. He was a royal fellowship of death. Where is the number of our English dead? Edward the Duke of York, the Earl of Suffolk, Sir Richard Kelty, Davy Gam, Esquire. None else of name, and of all other men, but 25. Oh God, thy arm was here, and not to us, but to thy arm alone ascribe we all. When without stratagem, but in plain shock and even play of battle, was ever known so great and little loss on one part and on another. Take it, God, for it is none but thine.
It is wonderful.
Come, go we in procession to the village, and be it death proclaimed through our host to boast of this, or take that praise from God, which is his own.
Is it not lawful, and please your majesty, to tell how many is killed?
Yes, captain, but with this acknowledgement that God.
Yes, my conscience, he did us great good.
Do we all holy rites let there be sung non nobis and te deum, the dead with charity enclosed in clay, and then to Calais and to England, ne'er from France arrive more happy. Here comes the chorus. Vouchsafe to those that have not read the story that I may prompt them, and of such as have, I humbly pray them to admit the excuse of time, of numbers, and due course of things which cannot in their huge and proper life be here presented. Now we bear the king toward Calais. Grant him there scene, heave him away upon your winged thoughts athwart the sea. Behold, the English beach pales in the flood with men, wives, and boys, whose shouts and claps out voice the deep-mouthed sea, which like a mighty whiffler for the king seems to prepare his way. So let him land, and solemnly see him set on to London. So swift a pace hath thought that even now you may imagine him a Blackheath, where that his laws desire him to have borne his bruised helmet and his bended sword before him through the city. He forbids it, being free from vainness and self-glorious pride, giving full trophy, signal, and ostent quite from himself to God. But now behold, in the quick forge and working doth pour out her citizens, the mayor and all his brethren in best sort, like to the senators of antique Rome, with the plebeians swarming at their heels, go forth and fetch their conquering Caesar in, as by a lower but by loving likelihood, where now the general of our gracious empress, as in good time he may from Ireland, bringing rebellion broached on his sword. How many with a peaceful city quit to welcome him? Much more and much more cause did they, this Harry, now in London place him. And yet the lamentation of the French invites the King of England stay at home, the emperors coming in behalf of France to order peace between them, and omit all the occurrences, whatever chance, till Harry's back again returned to France. There must we bring him. And myself have played the interim, by remembering you 'tis past, then brook abridgment and your eyes advance, after your thoughts straight back again to France. And to Llewellyn and Gower. The story is not over yet.
Nay, that's right, but why wear you your leek today? St. Davy's Day is past.
There is occasions and causes why and wherefore in all things. I will tell you, ask my friend, Captain Gower. The rascally, skull, beggarly, lousy, bragging knave pistol, which you and yourself and all the world know to be no better than a fellow. Now, of no merit, he has come to me and brings me preed and all salt yesterday. Look you, and bid me eat my leek. It was in place where I could not breed no contention with him. As to wear it in my cap till I see him once again, and then I will tell him a little piece of my desires.
Why, here he comes, swelling like a turkey cock.
'Tis no matter for his swellings nor his turkey cocks. God bless you, Hutchins Pistol, you scurvy, lousy knave. God bless you.
Art thou Bedlam? Dost thou thirst, base Trojan, to have me fold up Parker's fatal? Well, hence, I am qualmish at the smell of leek.
I beseech you, heartily scurvy, lousy knave, at my desires and my requests and my petitions, this leek, because look you, you do not love it, nor your affections and your appetites and your digestions do not agree with it. I would desire you to eat it.
Not for Cadwallader and all his goats.
There's one goat for you. Cow. Will you be so good, scald knave, as eat it?
Base Trojan, thou shalt die.
Very true, scald knave, when God's will is. I will desire you to live in the meantime and eat your victuals. Ask for it. You called me yesterday mountain squire. I will make today a squire of low degree. I pray you fall to it. If you can mock a leek, you can eat a leek.
Enough, Captain. You have astonished him.
I say I will make him eat some part of my leek. All right, we'll beat his pate for days. Bite, I pray you. It is good for your green wound and your plummy coxcomb.
Must I bite?
Yes, certainly. And out of question too, and ambiguities.
By this leek I will most horribly revenge. I eat and eat, I swear.
I pray you. Will you have some more sauce to your leek? Just swear by.
Quiet thy cudgel. Thou dost see I eat.
But good to you, scald knave, heartily. Now, pray you, throw none away. The skin is good for your broken coxcomb.
Ah,
It's the sea leeks hereafter, I pray you. Mock at them.
good?
Leeks is good. Hold you. There is a grout to heal your pate.
Me a groat!
Yes, verily, and in truth you shall take it. And I shall have another leek in my pocket, which you shall eat.
Weird. I take thy groat in earnest of revenge.
Sometimes just leek people. I will pay you in cudgels, and you should be a woodmonger and buy nothing of me but cudgels. Fill your pate. Oh God, all I want to be is like, the leek is my penis. Like,
Oh, God. All hell, all hell shall stir for this. Go, go. You are a counterfeit, cowardly knave, huh? Will you mock at an ancient tradition begun upon by an honorable respect and worn as a memorable trophy of predeceased valor, and dare not avouch in your deeds any of your words? I have seen you gleeking and galling at this gentleman twice or thrice. You thought, because he could not speak English in the native garb, he could not therefore handle English cudgel. You find it otherwise, and henceforth let a Welsh correction teach you a good English condition. Fare ye well. And then he leaves. Doth fortune play the huswife with me now? News have I that my Nell is dead. Ah, the spittle of malady of France. and there my rendezvous is quite cut off. Old I do wax, and from my weary limbs honor is cudgeled. Well, bald I'll turn, and something lean to cut purse of quick hand. To England will I steal, and there I'll steal, and patches will I get under these cudgel scars, and swear I got them in the Gallia Wars. Bye, y'all!
So enter at one door King Henry and all the British lads. They're all here. And then at the other door, it's all the French lads. It's like everyone's on stage, and also Queen Isabel,
Remaining ones.
and Princess Catherine. So, peace to this meeting, wherefore we are met. Unto our brother France, and to our sister, health and fair time of day, joy and good wishes to our most fair and princely cousin Catherine. And as a branch and member of this royalty by whom this great assembly is contrived, we do salute you, Duke of Burgundy, and princes, French and peers, health to you all. Right joyous are we to behold your face, where's a brother England fairly met. So are you princes English, everyone?
So happy be the issue, brother England, of this good day and this gracious meeting, as we are now glad to behold your eyes which hitherto have borne in them against the French, that met them in their bent, the fatal balls of murdering basilisks. The venom of such looks, we fairly hope, have lost their quality, and that this day shall change all griefs and quarrels to love.
To cry amen to that, thus we appear.
You English princes all, I do salute you. Burgundy. My duty to you both on equal love, great kings of France and England, that I have labored with all my wits, my pains, and strong endeavors to bring your most imperial majesties unto this poor and royal interview. Your mightiness on both parts can witness. Since then, my
how many lines you've got?
I regret it immediately. I'm in it though. Since then, my office has so far prevailed that face to face and royal eye to eye, you have come greeted. Let it not disgrace me. If I demand before this royal view what rubber or what impediment there is, why, that's naked, the poor mangled piece, dear nurse of arts and joyful birth. Should not in the best garden of the world our fertile France put up her lovely visage? Alas, she has from France too long been chased, and all her husbandry doth lie in heaps, corrupting in its own fertility. Her vine, the merry cheerer of the heart, unpruned dies, her hedges even bleached. Like prisoners wildly overgrown with hair, put forth disordered twigs, her fallow lays the darno, hemlock, and rank fumitory doth root upon, while that the coulter rust, that should deracinate such savagery. The even mead, the earth brought fleetly forth, the freckled cowslip, burnt and green clover, wanting the slice, all uncorrected rank, conceived by idleness, and nothing teems but hateful docks, rough thistles, kexies, burrs, losing both beauty and utility. And as our vineyards, fallow meads and hedges, defective in their natures, grow to wildness, even so our houses and ourselves and children have lost, and do not learn for want of time the sciences that should become our country, but grow like savages, as soldiers will let nothing do but mediate, let us say on blood, to swearing and stern looks, diffuse attire, and everything that seems unnatural, which to reduce in our former favor, you are assembled, and my speech entreats that I may know thee let. Why gentle peace should not expel these inconveniences, and bless us with her former qualities. Mistake. I
If
made a mistake.
Duke of Burgundy, with the peace whose want gives growth to the imperfections which are cited, you must buy that peace with full accord to all our demands, whose tenors and particular effects you have scheduled briefly in your hands.
The king has heard them, to which as yet there is no answer made.
Well then, the peace, which you before so urged, lies in his arm. I have but with accusatory eye or glance presently to sit with us, nor with better heed to resurvey them, we will suddenly pass our accept and peremptory answer. Brother, we shall. Go, Uncle Exeter, and Brother Clarence, and you, Brother Gloucester, and Huntington, go with the king, and take with you free power to ratify, augment, or alter, as your wisdoms best shall see advantageable for our dignity, anything in and out of demand. Consign thereto. Will you, fair sister, go with the princes, or stay here with us?
Gracious brother, I will go with them. Haply a woman's voice may do some good, when articles too nicely urged be stood on.
Yet leave our cousin Catherine here with us. She is our capital demand comprised within the article.
She hath good leave.
And so everybody leaves, and Henry and the Princess Catherine are left alone. Fair Catherine, and most fair, will you vouchsafe to teach a soldier terms such as will enter a lady's ear, plead his love suit to her gentle heart?
Your Majesty shall mock me. I cannot speak your England.
Oh, fair Catherine, if you will love me soundly with your French heart, I will be glad to hear you confess it brokenly with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
Pardonnez-moi. I cannot tell what is like me.
An angel is like you, Kate, and you are like an angel.
Que tu dis? Que je suis semblable à les anges?
Oui, vraiment, ça vous grace, ainsi dit-il.
I said so, dear Catherine, and I must not blush to affirm.
Oh mon Dieu! Les langues des hommes sont pleines de trompières.
What says she, fair one? That the tongues of men are full of deceit.
Oui, that the tongues of demons is be full of deceits. That is d'impression.
The princess is the better Englishwoman. If faith, Kate, my wooing is fit for thy understanding. I am glad thou canst speak no better English, for if thou could, thou wouldst find me such a plain king, that thou wouldst think I had sold my farm to buy my crown. I know no ways to mince it in love, but directly to say, I love you. Then if you urge me further than to say, do you in faith, I wear out my suit. Give me your answer. In faith I do, and so clap hands on a bargain. How say you, lady?
So votre honneur? Me understand well.
Marry, if you would put me to verses or to dance for your sake, Kate, why you undid me. For the one I have neither words nor measure, and for the other I have no strength in measure, to a reasonable measure in strength. If I could win a lady at leapfrog or by vaulting into my saddle, of bragging, be it spoken, I should quickly leap into a wife, or I might buffet for my love, or bound my horse for her favours. I could lay on like a butcher and sit like a jackanapes, never off. But before God, Kate, I cannot look greenly nor grasp out my eloquence, nor I have no cunning in protestation, only downright oaths, which I never use till urged, nor never break for urging. If thou canst love a fellow of this temper, Kate, whose face is not worth sunburning, thou never look'st in his glass, or for love of anything he sees there, let thine eye be thy cook. I speak to thee, plain soldier. If thou canst love me for this, take me. If not, to say to thee that I shall die is true, but for thy love, by the Lord, no. Yet I love thee too. And while thou liv'st, dear Kate, take a fellow of plain and uncoined constancy, for he perforce must do thee right, because he hath not the gift to woo in other places. For these fellows of infinite tongue that can rhyme themselves into ladies' favours, they do always reason themselves out again. What? A speaker is but a prater, a rhyme is but a bow. A good leg will fall, a straight back will stoop, a black beard will turn white, a curled pate will grow bald, a fair face will wither, a full eye will wax hollow, but a good heart, Kate, is the sun and the moon. Or rather the sun and not the moon, for it shines bright and never changes, keeps his course truly. If thou would have such a one, take me. and take me, take a soldier. Take a soldier, take a king. And what sayest thou then to my love? Speak, my fair, and fairly, I pray thee.
Is it possible that I could love the enemy of France?
No, it is not possible you should love the enemy of France, Kate. But in loving me, you should love the friend of France. For I love France so well that I will not part with a village of it. I will have it all mine. And Kate, when France is mine, and I am yours, then yours is France, and you are mine.
I cannot tell. What is that?
No, Kate. I will tell thee in French, which I am sure will hang upon my tongue like a new married wife about her husband's neck, hardly to be shook off. Je compte sur la possession de France, et quand vous avez la possession de moi, let me see what then. Saint Denis, be my speed. Donc, votre est France et vous êtes mienne. It is as easy for me, Kate, to conquer the kingdom. Speak anymore. I shall never move thee in French unless it.
Votre honneur, le français que vous parlez, il est meilleur que l'anglais lequel je parle.
No, Faith, it's not Kate. But thy speaking of my tongue, and I thine most truly falsely, must needs be granted to be much at one. But Kate, dost thou understand thus much English? Canst thou love me?
I cannot tell.
Well, can any of your neighbours tell, Kate? I'll ask them. Come, I know thou lovest me. And at night, when you come into your closet, you'll question this gentlewoman about me. And I know, Kate, you will to her dispraise those parts in me that you love with your heart. But, good Kate, mock me merrily, the rather gentle princess, because I love thee cruelly. If ever thou beest mine, Kate, as I have a saving faith within me tells me thou shalt, I get thee with scambling, and thou must therefore needs prove a good soldier breeder. Shall not thou and I, between Saint Denis and Saint George, compound a boy, half French, half English, that shall go to Constantinople and take the Turk by the beard? Shall we not? What sayest thou, my fair flower de luce?
I do not know that.
No, 'tis hereafter to know. But now to promise. Do but now promise. Kate, you will endeavour for your French part of such a boy, and for my English moiety take the word of a king and a bachelor. How answer you? La plus belle Catherine du monde, mon très cher devant des yeux.
Your Majesty have false French enough to deceive the most sage demoiselle that is in France.
Now fie upon my false French! By mine honour, in true English, I love thee, Kate. By which honour I dare not swear thou lovest me, yet my blood begins to flatter me that thou dost, notwithstanding the poor and untempering effect of my visage. Now beshrew my father's ambition. He was thinking of civil wars when he got me, therefore stubborn out with an aspect of iron. When I come to woo ladies, I fright them. But in faith, Kate, the elder I wax, the better I shall appear. My comfort is that old age, that ill layer up of beauty, can do no more spoil upon my face. Thou hast me, if thou hast me, at the worst. And thou shalt wear me, if thou wear me, better and better. And therefore tell me, most fair Catherine, will you have me? Put off your maiden blushes. Avouch the thoughts of your heart with the looks of an empress. Tell me, take me by the hand, and say, Harry of England, I am thine. Which word thou shalt no sooner bless mine ear withal, but I will tell thee aloud, England is thine, Ireland is thine, France is thine, and Harry Plantagenet is thine. Who, though I speak it before his face, if he be not fellow with the best king, thou shalt find the best king of good fellows. Come, your answer, in broken music, for thy voice is music, and thy English broken. Therefore, queen of all, Catherine, break thy mind to me in broken English. Wilt thou have me?
That it is also please to Romain-Pierre.
Nay, it will please him well. It shall, said Kate.
Oof.
Then it shall also content me.
Upon that, I kiss your hand, call you my queen.
Laissez, monsieur. Laissez, mon frère. Je me veux point que vous Abaissez votre grandeur en baiser la main. Dans de votre règne indien, serviteur. Excusez-moi. Je vous supplie, mon très puissant seigneur.
Then I will kiss your lips.
Les dames et demoiselles pourraient briser devant le nursier. Il n'est pas la coutume de France.
Madam, my interpreter? Madam, my interpreter, what says she? That it is not the fashion for the ladies of... Busy on English. Busy? To kiss. Your Majesty, entendre better que moi. It is not fashion for the maids of France to kiss before they're married, would she say? Oui, vraiment. Oh, Kate. Nice customs curtsy to great kings. Dear Kate, you and I cannot be confined within the weak list of a country's fashion. We are the makers of manners, Kate, and the liberty that follows our places stops the mouth of all fine faults, as I will do yours, for upholding the nice fashion of your country and denying me a kiss, therefore patiently and yielding. You have witchcraft in your lips, Kate. There is more eloquence in a sugar touch of them than in the tongues of the French council. And they should sooner persuade Harry of England than a general position of monarch. Here comes your father. Here come the French lads. Who's Burgundy?
God save your majesty! My royal cousin! Teach you our princess English?
I would have her learn my fair... Perfectly, I love her, and that is good English.
Is she not apt?
Our tongue is rough, cuz, and my condition is not smooth, so that having neither the voice nor the flattery, I cannot so conjure up the spirit of love in her that he will appear in his true likeness.
Pardon the frankness of my mirth, if I answer you for that. If you would conjure in her, you must make a circle. If conjure up love in her is its true likeness, he must appear naked and blind. Can you blame her then, being a maid, yet robed over with the virgin crimson of modesty? If she denies the appearance of a naked blind boy in her naked seeing self, it were, my lord, a hard condition for a maid to consign to.
Yet they do wink and yield, as love is blind and enforces.
They are then excused, my lord, when they see not what they do.
Then, good my lord, teach your cousin to consent winking.
I will wink on her consent, my lord, if you will teach her how to know my meaning. For maids, well summered and warm kept, are like flies at Bartholomew tide, blind, though they have their eyes, and then they will endure handling, which before would not abide looking on.
This moral ties me over to time and a hot summer, and so I shall catch the fly, your cousin, in the latter end, and she must be blind too.
As it is love, my lord, before it loves.
It is so. And you may, some of you, thank love for who cannot see many a fair French city for one fair French maid that stands in my way. Yes, my lord, you see them perspective. The city's turned into a maid, for they are all girdled with maiden walls that war as never entered. Shall Kate be my wife? So please you. I am content. So the maiden cities you talk of, so the maid that stood in the way for my wish shall allow me the way to my will. We have consented to all terms of reason. Is so, my lords of England?
Am I Westmoreland? I don't remember.
I think so.
The king hath granted every article, his daughter first, and then a sequel all, according to their firm proposed natures.
Only he hath not yet subscribed this, where your majesty demands that the king of France, having any occasion to write for manner of grant, shall name your highness in this form, and with this addition in French, Notre très cher fils Henri, roi d'Angleterre, France, and thus in Latin, Clarismus filius noster Henricus rex Angle et Harris Franciae.
No, this I have not, brother, so denied. Request shall make me let it pass. I pray you then in love and dear alliance, let that one article rank with the rest, and thereupon give me your daughter. Take care, fair son, and from my blood raise up issue to me that the contending kingdoms of France and England, whose very shores look pale with envy of each other's happiness, may cease their hatred, and the still conjunction plant neighborhood and Christian-like accord in their sweet bosoms that never wore advance his bleeding sword twixt England and fair France.
Amen.
Amen.
Now welcome, Kate, and bear me witness all that here I kiss her as my sovereign queen. Blah!
God, the best maker of all marriages, combine your hearts in one, your realms in one. As man and wife, being two, are one in love, so be there twixt your kingdoms such a spousal that never may ill office or failed jealousy, which troubles off the bed of blessed marriage, thrust in between the paction of these kingdoms to make divorce of their incorporate league, that English may as French Englishmen, receive each other. God speak this, amen.
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 Prepare we for our marriage, on which day my lord of Burgundy will take your oath, and all the peers for surety of our leagues. Then shall I swear to Kate, and you to me, and may our oaths well kept and prosperous be. And then they leave. Then chorus comes back on for one more. Thus far, with rough and all unable pen, our bending author has pursued the story in little room, confining mighty men, mangling by starts the full course of their glory. Small time, but in that small most greatly lived this star of England. Fortune made his sword, by which the world's best garden be achieved, and of it left his son imperial lord. Henry the Sixth, in infant bands crowned king of France and England, did this king succeed, whose state so many had the managing, that they lost France and made his England bleed. Which oft our stage hath shown, and for their sake, in your fair minds let this acceptance take. Woo! And that is Henry V.
Yay.
In about
You
Yay!
love it. You simply love to see it.
So
Thank
great.
you. Thank you so much to the guests who helped me come on again. That was fantastic fun.
that was really dumb.
That was. I did not realize how funny Henry
A very
V
good
could
time.
Henry V can be
It's
fucking hilarious.
it's one of my favorites of all time. Much Ado About Nothing is on purpose funny. This is just funny. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
also have to say I'm so in love with the two giant monologues that are like just like the self-masturbatory, like they said the title in the thing, so like everyone
Remember, eat
could
your
be like,
words.
oh, they named my family name, they named your family name,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
going down
Just like a list of
I think my favorite part is
just
that
thanking the patrons.
is that Henry's like way of like getting in someone's pants is like, do you want kids?
Hey,
Why
I
don't
mean
we
that's
secure an
the most
alliance?
literal way.
Yeah,
Do you want to secure a rule?
yeah. All right, I'm crossing off Henry V. Here we go.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was
Next
a long
up,
one.
it was. Yeah. So next up, I'm going to do All's Well That